Chapter 2321. Chen Shang had just sent a sound transmission to ask Dai Donggong about the matters of the Everlasting Mountain because he wanted to secretly enter the Everlasting Mountain to cultivate. When Dai Donggong found out about this matter, his expression immediately became heavy. Then, he brought Chen Shang into the secret room. Elder Dai, could it be that there is some huge secret hidden inside Everlasting Mountain? Chen Shang smiled and asked. He was only joking, but Dai Donggong nodded. The piece was actually real, the Everlasting Mountain actually had a big secret. What's that? Chen Shang frowned and asked. Seeing Dai Donggong's expression, he knew that this matter was not simple. This matter can only be passed to the leader S. Our Everlasting Mountain S are different from the other sects in the Heavenly Star Realm, we have our own missions, but when it comes to my generation, we were reduced to such a state. Dai Donggong heaved a long sigh. Under the Everlasting Mountain, there is a mysterious passage that has already been sealed. I don't know who sealed it, but I asked my master, and he also didn't tell me. Isn't the sect called Everlasting Mountain created by your master? Other than him, who else would it be? Chen Shang asked. That seal is very strong. It is most definitely not something my master wrote. Although I am not a formation master, I am able to tell. Dai Donggong said, but I think that it was the undead divine race who did it. I asked Elder Wu before, but he did not know about it. Should we call Elder Wu over to tell us about this? Asked. There was actually a passage beneath the Everlasting Mountain, and it was sealed up by a strong seal. Dai Donggong nodded, took out his communication jade symbol paper and sent a message to Wu Ji. Wu Ji quickly rushed over and entered the secret room. What's the matter? Why are you in such a hurry? Wu Ji asked as soon as he entered. There is something about the bottom of Everlasting Mountain. Dai Donggong briefly told the truth to Wu Ji. To think that there's such a thing, I am clear about most of the undead divine race's matters, there is no reason why I would not know such an important matter. Wu Ji said in shock. UAA suddenly transmitted to Chen Shang, when I was very young, I seem to have heard my grandfather and grandmother talk about a seal or something like that. They said that it would not last long and said that the 4 clans would have to unite to reinforce the seal again. Could it be that the 4 divine races placed a seal here? Chen Shang said in shock. I don't know, I need to see that seal before I can be sure. Yu said. Chen Shang told UAA to him and both Wu Ji and Dai Donggong were very surprised. If the 4 divine races joined forces to seal it, then there must be a very big secret hidden within. I know that when my master passed to me, she had once instructed me several times to pay attention to that barrier. If anything went wrong, I would go find undead divine race. He also said that if Star Law Divine Realm faces annihilation one day, it would start from Everlasting Mountain. Dai Donggong said again. I am from the undead divine race, don't tell me that I am not qualified to know. Wu Ji laughed bitterly, it seems that I can only go and find the elder of my undead divine race. Elder Dai, did you notice anything wrong with the seal? Chen Shang asked. No, before I left the Everlasting Mountain, I went there once, but I didn't find anything abnormal. It was still the same as before, only I could enter the mysterious sealed area underneath the Everlasting Mountain. I would visit it every once in a while. Dai Donggong said, tonight, I will bring all of you to have a look. Chen Shang originally wanted to go to the Everlasting Mountain to cultivate, but who would have thought that such a thing would occur? The only elder left in undead divine race was Yuer's grandmother. This elder definitely knew a lot about the seal. At night, Chen Shang used the power of space to open a spatial tunnel and arrived near the Everlasting Mountain with Dai Donggong and the others. Dai Donggong brought Chen Shang and Wu Ji and walked through an extremely secretive tunnel. This was the path to the bottom of Everlasting Mountain, and only the leader knew that he did not pass on his position when he left the Everlasting Mountain, so only he knew of these secrets. Purple Yuan sect sent a guy, and now that he has become Everlasting Mountain, he has even brought a group of disciples to place them in Everlasting Mountain. Dai Donggong laughed and said, disciples of the Purple Yuan sect S are not weak either. They think that since the Everlasting Mountain S have been taken over by the Purple Yuan sect, the Everlasting Mountain S must listen to them. Right now, they are even more unreasonable than the people in the Dan God Institute and the Elders' Courtyard. Those inner court disciples have had a hard time. Chen Shang laughed. At the end of the passage was a door. Dai Donggong said, this place can also be considered to be a part of the barrier. My master said it before, even if it is him, it would be difficult to enter. Chen Shang nodded, touched the door, and then used the power of space. He wanted to teleport in, but he encountered an extremely strong resistance. Truly powerful, the space is tightly sealed. Chen Shang used the Dao Hard Eye to look and couldn't help but take a deep breath. In front of him, there were actually over 100 enchantments, layer after layer, arranged extremely ingeniously and profound. Dai Donggong took out a multicolored bead and used it to lightly knock on the stone door. The position and number of times he knocked were all different, and it took him a short while to finish it. Going in is very complicated. Even with your bead, I don't know the steps of knocking on the stone door, but I can't open it. Chen Shang said. Yes, we can go in now. Dai Donggong gently pushed, and the stone door opened. This method of opening was also very mysterious. After entering, Dai Donggong hastily closed the door and said, "Right now we are at the bottom of Everlasting Mountain, in front of us is the Great Ceiling Formation." This was a very spacious underground world, around the size of 10 plazas. In the middle, there was a huge circular platform that was half a meter tall, and on it, there were all kinds of colorful clouds, which were emitted by the spirit grain sealed above. As he approached, Wu Ji, who was proficient in formation techniques, immediately exclaimed, "It's actually this seal, it's too terrifying." "Elder Wu, what kind of seal is this? You know it?" Dai Donggong asked quickly. "I've read a simple description in the ancient books in my clan. It's about the same as this." Wu Ji said, "This seal was not set up by our 4 clans, but was set up by the Earth's core divine spirit." Earth's core divine spirit. Chen Shang was not unfamiliar with this Earth's core divine spirit. It was just a guy who raised earthly beasts everywhere. It was an extremely mysterious and extraordinary existence. This seal is no trivial matter, there must be some powerful object sealed below. Maybe the mission of the 4 divine races is to protect this seal, and reinforce it regularly, not allowing the power of the seal to weaken. Wu Ji sighed, but there aren't many clan members in our undead divine race anymore. For such a powerful seal, we need to use the power of our entire clan. Chapter 2322. Chen Shang and the others did not know what this mysterious seal was, but they were certain that it was extremely dangerous. If they were to release it, it would definitely become dangerous, otherwise the 4 divine races would not specially look after it. My master said that a passageway is sealed inside. If that's the case, then something powerful must have escaped from this passageway. Dai Donggong said, "If this thing were to come out, it will bring destruction to the Star Law Divine Realm." Chen Shang frowned. "Undead divine race is already in this state, can you still reinforce the seal?" Wu Ji shook his head. "I don't know, but it looks like I have to find the elders of our undead divine race. Only they know about this." "Okay, go ahead, leave everything in the villa to me during this period of time." Dai Donggong said, "Leader, if you want to absorb earth chi for cultivation, I am afraid this place is not suitable for you. Elder Wu, you should know a place that can absorb earth chi better, right? Every single heavenly star has their own best place to absorb them. For example, the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star S are all Everlasting Mountain S, and the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star S are all occupied by the major powers in the Purple Yuan sect." Wu Ji said, "Leader, if you want to absorb it faster, then you can only go to Purple Yuan Heavenly Star, it is impossible for Everlasting Mountain now." There was such a terrifying seal at the bottom of Everlasting Mountain, of course Chen Shang wouldn't dare to mess around here. To the Purple Yuan sect. It would be good to go there and see if there is a chance to learn more about the Purple Yuan sect. This might be the big enemy that appeared on the day we established our sect. Chen Shang said, he was currently preparing himself, as long as he could train to a certain level of strength, he would definitely be able to give them a higher profile when he has a few peak Divine Lord S on his side. Dai Donggong still had a lot of bone level Dan, so there was no need for it right now. For the time being, he did not need to refine anymore, and could go to Purple Yuan Heavenly Star to cultivate in peace. Elder Dai, you have to discipline your disciples and do not let them cause trouble everywhere. Everything has to be done in a low profile, and if Jingzi and Jingzi are free, you have to let them walk around and see if they can purchase some valuable divine medicine. Chen Shang said. "All right, don't worry, I will take care of this place." Dai Donggong nodded. After Chen Shang returned with them to the Kang Cloud City, they used the Kang Cloud City's transmission array to travel to the distant Purple Yuan Heavenly Star. Had previously asked Wu Ji and his sister for some Shen Yuan Stone S to buy some jade plates before entering the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star. The Purple Yuan Heavenly Star was much more lively than the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star. When Chen Shang arrived at a city called Ziyuan Tian City, The people inside were much more powerful than the Wang ancient heavenly star, and it was also very crowded. From this, it could be seen that the purple Yuan heavenly star was much more powerful than the Wang ancient heavenly star. Although the pills here were similarly under the control of the purple Yuan sect, the purple Yuan sect often sold all kinds of common divine pills. Because there were many people in the purple Yuan heavenly star, the bone-level Dan here would often be sold as well. Wu Ji had also told him before that the small and medium-sized forces in the purple Yuan sect alliance would always get their hands on the bone-level Dan to provide them with pills. Purple Yuan sect is near this Ziyuan Sky City. If you head out from the other city gate, you will see a large mountain shrouded in purple mist. That mountain should be the purple Yuan sect, Yu said. After Chen Shang strolled around Ziyuan Sky City for a while, he headed towards the mountain range. When he walked over, it was exactly noon, and after the purple mist in the mountain range absorbed the strong sunlight, it turned into a purplish gold color. It looked extremely beautiful and mysterious, causing people to constantly sigh in admiration. These mountains should have absorbed a special and powerful energy, and then were released through a formation formed by nature by the Great Tao. Only then did they become like this. The Violet Yuan Mountain is also a treasure land for cultivation, but the entire mountain range is occupied by the purple Yuan sect, and it is said that there are still some genius treasures that have yet to be discovered. Yu said. There really is a treasure inside. When Chen Shang heard this, his eyes immediately lit up, and he laughed. Looks like this time I am not only going to cultivate the soul of the subduing earth divine beast, I am also going to look for a treasure. I just heard about it, that's all. I even heard about it when I was in the Star Law divine realm. So many years have passed now, is there still anyone here? Yue laughed. If you can't find it, then won't you say that I lied to you? After Chen Shang teleported a few steps, he arrived at the barrier enchantment outside the mountain range. The entire huge mountain range was covered by the purple Yuan sect's powerful barrier, preventing outsiders from entering. This purple Yuan sect is pretty amazing. This formation can actually seal space. I can't teleport in. Outside the invisible barrier, Chen Shang looked at the purple cloud floating in the air. He had to use other ways to enter the mountain range. The purple Yuan sect was quite strict and this barrier was also very stable. It could be seen that the purple Yuan sect had a very solid foundation that allowed them to have a grand master of setting up such a powerful formation. These powers are still very strong. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to destroy the undead divine race. Yue said, you must not underestimate this purple Yuan sect. If the entire divine dragon race were to fight with him, it is not certain who would win. Although I am not human, I must say that when humans reach the late stage of cultivation, I will be much stronger than us god race beasts. Humans were born weak, and we, the god race and the beasts, had great strength the moment we were born, so it is relatively easy for us to advance in cultivation. And every time we make a breakthrough, every bit of increase in strength requires us to work a lot harder than we do, so when we reach the later stage of peak divine lord, the strength that humans displayed was extremely terrifying. Humans had a tough time cultivating, which made them very strong. In addition, there were a lot of humans and a lot of strong warriors. They were not as few as those gods or beasts. In order for humans to be strong, they had all sorts of methods, and the most powerful one was pill refining. The god race was born with great strength and their cultivation speed was extremely fast, so there was no need in this aspect. Humans were different, so they were forced to refine pills. In the later stages of the game, the god race would become weaker, but the humans that walked up step by step would become very scary, and the mad humans would become even more scary. For example, the peak divine lord that sought to live forever, exterminated them. Chen Shang did not need to teleport into the Ziyuan mountain range, he could only go in through the main entrance. When he arrived at the main entrance, there was a very spacious plaza, and many people were selling things there. Chen Shang had wanted to go over to pick up a loophole, but who knew that when he walked over, he would see that the people who set up the stalls had all packed their stalls. What's going on? I was like this the moment I came here. Could it be that the word, God of Pests, is written on my face? Chen Shang laughed bitterly. Chapter 2323. Although Chen Shang saw that the people had packed up their stall, they did not leave. Chen Shang knew that something must have happened, they must have stayed here to watch the show. He walked over to ask around and found out that Purple Yuan sect's new leader daughter was having a match at the groom search competition. After all these people packed up, there were immediately people from Purple Yuan sect who came out to build a contest ring. Isn't it Purple Yuan sect's daughter that is competing in groom search? Where's the sis? Chen Shang looked around, but did not see Purple Yuan sect's daughter coming up. Brother, stop looking, the daughter of leader Zi Yuan will not come out. The person who comes out to accept the challenge is the eldest disciple of leader Zi Yuan. One of them said, I can tell that you have just arrived at Purple Yuan Heavenly Star. This Zi Yuan leader actually brought out his own daughter, in order to increase his prestige. Although this old man has never seen him, I heard that his daughter is extremely good. She has over 90 divine deity, and her beauty is like that of a flower and jade, she is very attractive. An old man laughed and said, however, don't even think about going up on stage. Not everyone is qualified to challenge us. Why? Chen Shang asked, isn't he supposed to be facing everyone? If that's not the case, then he shouldn't be putting on such a show. Of course it's for everyone. Merely, there are conditions for one to challenge others. Every day, there are only 3 challenge slots. All of them will be obtained through bidding. The old man said. That's fine too. Is there anyone who would like to participate in the auction? Chen Shang laughed. Of course there are. Furthermore, all of them are auctioned with Zongpin bone level Dan S. These past few days, the highest bidder was over 50 pellets. Of course, those participating in the groom search competition are the young masters of the noble families. The old man laughed, if we can defeat the head disciple of the Purple Yuan sect, he would be worthy of being the daughter of leader Zi Yuan. Chen Shang touched his chin. He was the one who killed the former Zi Yuan leader, the weak one was not him who killed the old leader, when was there a need for the new leader to come on stage? He felt that he was the benefactor of the new leader, but in order to establish his might, the new leader had issued the order to kill him no matter what it took. Right now, I am Purple Yuan sect's greatest enemy. If I become Zi Yuan leader's son-in-law, just the thought of it makes it feel good. Chen Shang laughed in his heart, and then squeezed into the crowd and headed towards the auction area. There were many luxurious tables and chairs, and on top of them were dishes and wine. Now, there were also some handsomely dressed young masters in succession. If they could become kin with Zi Yuan leader, their power and status would instantly increase by a lot. Which family are you from? The area was surrounded, and someone stopped Chen Shang at the entrance. I'm not from any family, you don't seem to have any rules about having a sect or family to participate in it. Chen Shang laughed. We do not have any rules, but you must have the ability to participate in the auction. The guard said. Is that enough? Chen Shang took out 20 Zongpin bone level Dan S. Come in. The guard saw the 20 Zongpin bone level Dan and immediately let Chen Shang in. A person who could take out 20 Zongpin bone level Dan S was definitely not an ordinary person. Chen Shang sat on a very comfortable chair, picked up the food on the table, and started to eat. On top of the table, there were many delicious fruits and dishes. He really is a talent with the newly ascended Zi Yuan leader. He actually used his own daughter to earn quite a lot of Zongpin bone level Dan. Yue praised, look at the horny students around us. I can't wait to step on that big disciple and marry that Zi Yuan leader's beloved daughter. Chen Shang laughed, generally, there are young faces, and strength is only that, looks like there are rules stating that participants must have young looks. Someday I will get a pill formula, and concoct a divine pill that can recover young looks. It will definitely be easy to sell, but it will be difficult to change those old fellows' powerful bodies. In the past, he had also refined pills to restore his youthful appearance, but that only applied to the weaker cultivators, while the strong bodies of the people in Star Law Divine Realm had aged over time. Furthermore, their bodies were extremely strong, and it would not be easy to reverse the situation. Of course, if it was possible to refine it, then those old men who couldn't bear the time and age would definitely buy it. Are you really going to marry this Zi Yuan leader's daughter? Yue smiled. You already have quite a few wives. It's not like I can't have any other wives. Which one of the people sitting here isn't a group of wives? Chen Shang looked at the young masters who came to participate in the auction. When everyone was almost full, they started bidding for the groom search competition. This time, the first name list was 45 Zongpin bone level Dan, the second was 40, and the third was seized by Chen Shang. It was only 20 of them. Chen Shang also did not expect it to be that little, but after hearing the discussions of the young masters around, he immediately understood, because the two fellows who snatched the spots were very strong. If one of them could win against the head disciple of Purple Yuan sect, then the third spot would go to waste, and Zongpin bone level Dan would not retreat either. Therefore, no one felt that Chen Shang had earned it, because it was very likely that he wouldn't even have the chance to go up the stage. After the 3 spots were confirmed, he announced some rules for the competition and the competition began immediately. The head disciple of the Purple Yuan sect was called Fang Zishan, and he knew that Fang Zishan had a lot of secrets regarding divine deity. He only knew that Fang Zishan was very strong and that he was a genius on the surface. Everyone thought that the Zi Yuan leader should marry his daughter, but the Purple Yuan leader wanted to use this opportunity to get some Zongpin bone level Dan. During a battle, the barrier would not only prevent the aftermath of a fierce battle from being revealed, but at the same time, it could also prevent the opponent from falling out. Thus, during a battle, the opponent would not fall off the stage, and the only choice was to beat him until he admitted defeat or to knock him out. Of course, if it was a bit more serious, it would be wasted. The first person to snatch the seat was the famous Qin family in Purple Yuan Heavenly Star. His name was Qin Profound, and he was the eldest son of the Qin family's patriarch. Now that the first round of battles had begun, Chen Shang also wanted to take advantage of this to see Fang Zishan's strength. Earlier, he used the perception demon eye to look at it, and only saw that Fang Zishan had 100 divine deity, which was very blurry, that if the other party used the power of his bones in battle, he would be able to see it more clearly. Purple Yuan Heavenly Star is indeed strong. The 2 young fellows both have 100 gods level S, I wonder how high their bones are. I am still unable to see it clearly. Chen Shang also looked at it very seriously. Chapter 2324. The moment the battle started, Qin Profound's fists released a golden divine power, but Fang Zishan used his extreme speed and instantly appeared in front of Qin Profound, throwing out a palm strike. Qin Profound also threw out a punch, striking Fang Zishan's palm. Boom! The clash between the two had been very intense. Even with the barrier, it was obvious that they could still feel the vibrations. Qin Profound lost. Chen Shang had already seen how much bones Fang Zishan and Qing Zan had just now. Why are you so sure that it looks like they are only evenly matched? Yu said. S arm which struck out, had all of the bones inside broken. Right now, his arm can still move, which is supported by the divine power. Qin Profound is also very strong, possessing 8 bones. However, that Fang Zishan has 9 bones, he is a peak divine lord. Chen Shang said to Yue. What? I never thought that after leaving Star Law Divine Realm, I would develop so quickly. There are so many young people like him. Yue exclaimed in surprise, looks like leader Zi Yuan is intentionally making this up to swindle Zongpin bone level Dan out of this groom search competition. I wonder how his daughter would feel. His daughter grew up with Fang Zishan and the 2 of them have a pretty good relationship. It's very likely that he will marry Fang Zishan in the future. Leader Zi Yuan is truly sinister. Chen Shang laughed. Then do you have confidence in defeating Fang Zishan? If you win, won't they go back on their words? Yu asked. I don't know. In short, I've won. The Zi Yuan leader's daughter is my woman. If she goes back on her words, I'll lock her up. Chen Shang laughed. Although one of Qin Profound's arms had been crippled, he had used his divine power to support himself for so long, which was already considered not bad. This allowed Chen Shang to understand how strong the small and medium-sized forces of the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star were. For the son of a patriarch to be so powerful, the patriarch must be the peak divine lord. I've lost, Qin Profound suddenly said. His forehead was full of perspiration, his bones had been broken in many places, and all his internal organs were injured, but he was just holding on, and did not vomit blood nor scream, which was why the others did not know about the situation. However, Chen Shang knew that he could see quite a bit of things through his Dao Hard Eye. There wasn't the slightest injury on Fang Zishan's body, and the fight between him and Qin Profound just now was merely a warm-up. Although he was only able to see 1 more bones compared to Qin Profound, his strength was actually a lot stronger. Qin Profound seemed to already know that Fang Zishan was peak divine lord, which was why he gave up so decisively. Otherwise, if they continued to fight, he would lose even more. Now it was the second time for him to go up on stage. This time, he was the son of a leader from a stronger sect, named Wei Zonqing, who was also from the 100 gods level. After all, he had personally witnessed how Qin Profound lost, and he felt that his strength was about the same as Qin Profound's. Even when Qin Profound lost, the other party did not bring out their true strength. After Qin Profound walked down the stage, he took a few divine pellets, but he did not leave, he sat down and watched the battle. On one hand, he wanted to digest the divine pellets to heal his injuries, and at the same time, he wanted to see how strong Wei Yanji was. In the beginning, Fang Zishan had the chance to make the first move, but he did not move. When he attacked, Chen Shang was also shocked. Wei Yanji looked like he was afraid and cowardly, but the way he attacked was extremely quick and violent, without a trace of what he looked like just now. This caused many people to curse in their hearts. His pair of eyes became extremely sharp, he released many shadows, and like a gust of wind, he blew towards Fang Zishan. On his hands, rainbows flowed out, as if sword chi was spewing out, making people feel as if he had turned into a sword. HMPH. Fang Zishan was a little angry, possibly because the forward guard pretended to be weak, which was why he was angry. Wei Yanji had only just approached Fang Zishan when he was sent flying by the divine strength of Fang Zishan's palm strike, crashing into the barrier and spitting out a large mouthful of blood. Admit defeat. Seeing that Wei Zonqing was admitting defeat, he immediately retracted his palm power. Just as the palm power was about to strike Wei Zonqing's body, it was suddenly repelled. At this point, they had more or less guessed Fang Zishan's strength. After all, today's battle between Fang Zishan and Wei Onqing were both relatively strong. There was only one possibility for Fang Zishan to be so much stronger than them, and that was that Fang Zishan was peak Divine Lord. Wei Onqing took a deep breath, and his face was filled with fear. If he had been hit by another palm just now, he would have surely needed a very long time to recover from his injuries. His injuries were much heavier than Qin Profound's and he couldn't go back for a while. He hurriedly swallowed a few healing pellets, which would make him look much more energetic when he went back home. It was Chen Zhang's turn. Here, Chen Shang was the first to know how strong Fang Zishan was, but he still walked over. When Chen Shang came here, he did not hide his cultivation level, because the 95 divine deity on him was nothing in the eyes of many. Within the purple yuan heavenly star, there were many hundred gods level S. Thus, everyone could feel the energy fluctuations from the 90-odd divine deity on Chen Zhang's body. Everyone knew that he only had 90-odd divine deity on him, and the aura fluctuations on their bodies were all exposed when Wei Bingqing and Qin Profound battled, so there were over 100 of them. Since the two of them were not able to beat Qin Profound, then there was no point in thinking about the 95% of divine deity that Chen Shang had. Everyone only felt that since Chen Shang had won the placing with the Zongpin Bone level Dan, he would have to go up and try even if he lost. Of course, Chen Shang was just a nobody, and those who had participated in the competition just now were all more or less famous. The only thing they had never heard of was Chen Shang. "Who are you?" Fang Zishan asked, because he recognized all the young masters below, but this Chen Shang looked unfamiliar. "I am Yun Fei from the Nine Heaven School," Chen Shang said with a light tone. "Nine Heaven School, where are you?" Fang Zishan asked. In his opinion, a power that could take out 20 Zongpin Bone level Dan was definitely not simple. On a very distant Earth stage stars, right now, it's just a small sect. Chen Shang laughed. "It's normal for you to not have heard of it." At this moment, Chen Shang was also a bit pressured, because he could not use heavenly magic sword S during battles. This would greatly weaken his strength, and he had previously used these two things to easily harvest the lives of many strong people. Chapter 2325. Fire Heaven and Ice Land. When Fang Zishan saw that Chen Shang only had 90-odd divine deity, he felt a lot more at ease. He had only fought 3 matches a day and he could already earn quite a lot of Zongpin Bone level Dan S. He felt very satisfied. Chen Shang stared at Fang Zishan's eyes. Using the special power of the bones in his eyes, he could see that among Fang Zishan's divine sense C, there was a purple-colored land of ice and snow. Fire Heaven Ice, this guy cultivates the fire and ice god power, and he also used the purple yuan sect's power technique to make the god power contain a bizarre and powerful purple energy. Chen Shang was secretly surprised. This Fang Zishan was not weak at all. Fang Zishan was also the new chief disciple. His master had just become a new purple yuan sect and he immediately went to challenge the chief disciple. Before he became the chief disciple, he was also quite famous. It was just that those young masters did not know that he had hidden his skills so deeply and actually had the cultivation level of the peak Divine Lord. Chen Shang currently only had 95 Divine Deity S, which was slightly less than the opponent's, but his bones was actually 16, so he felt that he would definitely not be weaker than the opponent. He had 7 more bones S than the opponent, and he had only fought against peak Divine Lord with his bare hands before. Therefore, this was a good opportunity to see his own strength. Begin. A middle-aged man below the stage shouted. Chen Shang had already accumulated his divine power a long time ago, so he immediately charged over. He did not use any spatial energy, but rather used the strange shrinking step. The stage was not big, and using the shrinking step allowed them to teleport. Seeing his terrifying speed, everyone could not help but be shocked. They had initially thought that Chen Shang would lose from the start, but they never expected that Chen Shang would not be weak either. Fang Zishan originally planned to let Chen Shang attack first while he took the hit himself, but when he saw Chen Zhang's speed, he couldn't help but be secretly surprised. He also hurriedly moved forward and felt that Chen Shang was a threat to him. This all happened in a very short period of time, so it looked like two people moving at the same time. His palm was filled with purple energy, and a ball of purple light appeared at the center of his palm. After flashing explosively for a moment, he appeared in front of Chen Shang. It's ice, the scorching sun heavenly elephant. Chen Shang felt a cold energy approaching him. His body started to circulate heavenly spirit kung fu as fast as possible, unleashing the scorching sun heavenly elephant, causing his body to glow with fire, becoming extremely hot. The ball of purple cold air that Fang Zishan had released did not hit Chen Shang. Although Chen Shang had used the scorching sun heavenly elephant, he still stepped on the shrinking step and tried his best to avoid it. Although Chen Shang dodged it, his arm was still touched by the ball of purple light. He had already used the scorching sun heavenly elephant, but when the purple energy passed by, he still felt a bone-chilling coldness. This guy definitely hasn't become a peak divine lord for a day or two. He has already become a peak divine lord for a very long time. Chen Shang was shocked. The other party's ice god power was transformed from the divine deity in his body at the same time, and when the god power rushed out from the divine sense sea, it smoothly and quickly transformed into this kind of terrifying icy cold power. After entering the realm of peak divine lord, it was difficult to increase it, and the only way to increase it was to continue purifying the power inside the divine sense sea. The purer the power of divine sense sea was, the stronger it would become after it was transformed. Chen Shang had fought with a lot of strong warriors before anyways, so he understood a little about it. He actually dodged it. Fang Zishan never thought that Chen Zhang's reaction would be so quick. Only by knowing that he would attack in advance would he be able to avoid it, which seemed to be something that could only be done with a keen intuition and accurate judgment. Everyone was shocked. Fang Zishan's sudden attack just now was unexpected, but Chen Shang had expected it and avoided it dangerously. In reality, the sudden attack just now was also Fang Zishan's sudden decision. That was why his attack seemed to be very sudden and his angle of attack was also strange, but he could still attack accurately, only that Chen Shang dodged it. After the ball of purple light that Fang Zishan shot out landed on the ground, it turned into purple mist, and did not erupt with any large fluctuations, because when Fang Zishan saw that Chen Shang had dodged the attack, he immediately retracted his power, showing how rare and powerful he was. It's a little tricky, I met an old fox. Chen Shang thought. He took a step and appeared behind Fang Zishan in the blink of an eye. When he was using the shrinking step, it was as if he had teleported, but this time, he was even faster. In just half a blink of an eye, Chen Shang had flashed behind Fang Zishan and struck out with his fist at the same time. Everyone saw that at the same time Chen Shang suddenly flashed behind Fang Zishan, a ball of flame suddenly shot out from Chen Zhang's fist. The aura was like a falling star in the sky. The immense pressure and scorching power released by him through the barrier on the stage was extremely shocking. This was because Chen Shang clearly only had 90-odd divine deity, yet the power he displayed was actually this terrifying, causing people to have to suspect whether or not he possessed bones. It was not impossible, it was just that there were very few of them, and there had even been no records of them. Usually, only after cultivating to the 100 gods level, one would be able to cultivate the 9 bones, but it was not impossible. Everyone felt that if Chen Shang truly had 9 bones, then his strength would not be too far off from Fang Zishan's. In the later stages of the competition, the difference in divine deity being only a few would not be a big deal, but the difference in bones by 1 would be like heaven and earth. The instant that Chen Shang unleashed the meteor immortal power, it smashed onto Fang Zishan's body. Although Fang Zishan was unable to dodge it, his body had self-made the defense. Boom! Countless numbers of purple-colored ice crystals flew in all directions. In that instant just now, Fang Zishan's body had congealed into ice, and he wanted to use this place to block Chen Zhang's attack. After the purple light exploded, the purple ice crystals splattered all over the stage, but Fang Zishan's arm had actually disappeared. Fang Zishan's face turned ugly, Just now, Chen Zhang's punch had struck his shoulder, and he had frozen his body into ice, so when his arm received the fierce attack, it instantly exploded. Qin Profound, who was at the peak of peak Divine Lord, actually suffered such a loss, to actually have one of his arms broken by a nameless cripple. Chen Shang used the Dao Heart Eye to look at Fang Zishan and discovered that a purple object had suddenly appeared on his shoulder. Could it be? When Chen Shang saw it, he raised both fists and released two meteor immortal powers that roared forward like dragons and tigers. Chapter 2326. Chen Zhang's two waves of meteor immortal power instantly passed through. When they struck Fang Zishan's body, they only heard a roar from Fang Zishan, followed by a purple light that flared up from Fang Zishan's body. Chen Shang was suddenly hit by a burst of purple aura. Such a strong guy, he is going to risk his life. Chen Shang was shocked. It would be best if he prepared with all his strength. Don't even think about winning against me. Fang Zishan's body flickered with a purple light. His broken arm had actually been reborn, and this was what Chen Shang had seen with the Dao Heart Eye. Fang Zishan actually had such a terrifying regenerative ability. Everyone exclaimed repeatedly, this was Fang Zishan's true strength. Fang Zishan's body flickered with a purple light, as though he was wearing a purple armor. He looked extremely mighty, his face was gloomy and he looked extremely angry, because no one had ever forced him to do something like this. Fang Zishan knew that if he lost today, the daughter of the Ziyuan leader would marry into someone else. He had taken a fancy to it long ago, he definitely could not let anyone else steal it. Quite impressive, Chen Shang chuckled, he can actually block two of my punches, and nothing will happen to him. HMPH, the more formidable ones are yet to come. Fang Zishan sneered, then suddenly shot two purple lights at Chen Zhang's chest. This fellow actually knows such a move. Chen Shang was shocked, and the two scorching rays of purple light pierced through his chest. Pride Pill God 2326. After his heart was penetrated, Fang Zishan laughed madly. Blinking his eyes, he continuously shot out purple rays of light that penetrated Chen Zhang's head, abdomen, legs, and arms. Didn't you say that it is forbidden to kill people? This fellow has even made a hole in my head, aren't you afraid of killing me? Quote. No, I don't think so. Even such a scary guy with his head chopped off on one side would be able to live like this. Look at this Yun Fei, his eyes are still rolling. Quote. This guy isn't using the bones of the eyes, he is only using a cultivation technique like the permeable heart demon eye. Even though it looks scary, it won't be that easy for it to pierce through my body. Chen Shang could immediately tell that this Fang Zishan was more powerful, hiding such a powerful move, just to catch him off guard. Earlier, everyone had seen Chen Zhang's body being penetrated by the beams of purple light, but now, everyone could see that he was fine. This was because Chen Shang had just used cloud and cloud constellation to make his body look like clouds. Even if he was beaten into a hornet's nest, he wouldn't be harmed. You're fine. Fang Zishan saw through it and was immediately shocked. He could see that Chen Shang had used some kind of sacred art and altered the structure of his body to block this kind of attack. The heavenly spirit Kung Fu was one of the four great taboo magics, of course it wouldn't be inferior to him. The hole on Chen Zhang's body was repaired quickly, the scattered mist only needed to return. Of course I'm fine. After Chen Shang finished speaking, his eyes suddenly flashed with red light as countless threads of red light burst out, penetrating Fang Zishan's body. Fang Zishan let out a blood-curdling scream. The thread that was released from Chen Zhang's eyes earlier had broken all the meridians in his body. His bones, organs, and even his internal organs had been pierced through and squeezed out. Just you wait. Fang Zishan's body flickered with a purple light. He was using the regeneration ability, but Chen Shang would not give him the chance. Chen Shang was also very shocked by Fang Zishan's regeneration technique, but with Fang Zishan's body being damaged so heavily, it would take some time to regenerate. When Chen Shang teleported over, Fang Zishan was still using the power of regeneration to repair his body. He knew that Chen Shang had arrived, but he wasn't worried, because he knew that he just needed to endure. Right now, he was condensing a large amount of power of regeneration. As long as he wasn't beaten to death, he could quickly regenerate. Pride Pill God 2326. I would like to see how much power you have to regenerate. Chen Shang laughed mischievously as both of his palms struck forward violently. These were all bone-melting magic palms, and he struck Fang Zishan's body multiple times in an instant. Fang Zishan immediately collapsed to the ground, the bones in his body were all gone. Seeing Fang Zishan on the ground, Everyone's scalps went numb, to think that there was actually such a strange technique that could directly remove all the bones in a person's body. Now was the time when Fang Zishan was at his weakest, he was about to lose. But because the rules forbid killing, he felt that as long as he didn't admit defeat, Chen Shang wouldn't be able to do anything to him. As long as he released the power of regeneration he stored up, he could recover. I won't give you a chance, Chen Shang said indifferently. Then he stared into Fang Zishan's eyes and used the bones in them to accumulate power, and infiltrate into Fang Zishan's divine sense CS. The attack was formless, no one could see, it was an extremely terrifying divine sense C attack. Because Chen Shang had the bones in his eyes, he could store a very strange power. As long as he was at someone's most relaxed, he could use this power to attack someone else's divine sense C. Ah! Fang Zishan screamed and fainted. Chen Shang did not do anything to him either, he had only attacked the divine soul inside the divine sense C, causing him to temporarily lose consciousness. I knocked him out, I won, Chen Shang said to the elder in charge of the competition. Many of the elders from the Purple Yuan sect walked onto the stage. No matter how they tried, they could not wake Fang Zishan up. Stop shouting, even if he wakes up, I can make him lie down again. Chen Shang laughed, your Purple Yuan sect won't go back on his words. I will beat this guy, and quickly marry Purple Yuan sect's daughter to me. Quote. Even if Purple Yuan sect went back on his words, there was nothing he could do. Right now, he just had to see whether Purple Yuan sect would care about his reputation. If he was thick-skinned enough, with his strength, he could just drive Chen Shang away and nothing could do about it. However, his reputation would definitely be greatly affected, because there were many young masters who used many bone-level Dan to participate in the challenge. If they knew that they wouldn't be able to marry the daughter of leader Zi Yuan even if they won, they would definitely be extremely unhappy in their hearts. Originally, Purple Yuan sect thought that this groom search competition would be a foolproof game, because Fang Zishan was very strong. Not only the peak divine lord, but he also had many powerful skills. But now, they had actually been defeated by Chen Shang. This kind of accident was something they had never expected before. This, young master, you should go to our Purple Yuan sect to rest first. We have also notified the leader, and he will be coming to take care of this matter very soon. The elders were also dumbfounded. This kind of accident shouldn't have happened. Chapter 2327. Chen Shang was brought into the Purple Yuan sect, and at this time, he also began to inspect the inside of the grounds. His goal in coming here was to cultivate the soul of a ground-suppressing immortal elephant. Fang Zishan had been defeated, and he had been utterly defeated. This matter quickly spread throughout the entire Purple Yuan Heavenly Star. At this moment, everyone was guessing whether or not Zi Yuan leader would marry his daughter to a nobody. Chen Shang laughed as he drank tea in a large hall in Purple Yuan sect. At this moment, there were two beautiful female disciples attending to him. The leader is here, a lady suddenly spoke out, reminding Chen Shang. Chen Shang also sensed a strong qi, and the newly ascended Zi Yuan leader was called Shu Dazong. He was very surprised when he heard about this, then went to see the unconscious Fang Zishan, and discovered that Fang Zishan's divine sense C had received a very clever attack, causing him to faint, but it did not cause too much damage. Shu Dazong had never encountered such a profound attack from a divine sense C before. He was not too worried about Fang Zishan's injuries either. He knew that Fang Zishan possessed a terrifying regeneration ability, and as long as he regained his consciousness, he would be able to recover very quickly. After meeting Fang Zishan, Shu Dazong went to find his daughter again, and told her about this matter. Then, he came to look for Chen Shang. Good morning, leader, Chen Shang stood up and said while grinning. Hello, hello, that's right, even though your divine deity hasn't reached 100, you're already so powerful. Your future is limitless, your future is limitless. Shu Dazong was like a middle-aged man, which also surprised him a little. He thought that these powerful big shots would all have white hair. 3. Pride Pill God 2327. Therefore, he immediately thought that this Shu Dazong should be from the second generation of Peak Divine Lord, which was why he was so young. This meant that this Shu Dazong's strength might not be as strong as the Purple Yuan leader from before. Little brother, there's one thing that is difficult for me. Shu Dazong patted Chen Zhang's shoulders. Shu Dazong had a fat head and big ears. He did not look like someone threatening them, but instead was kind. He did not look like a leader. Is it because your daughter doesn't want to marry me? Chen Shang laughed. Almost. But, Shu Dazong, will definitely not go back on my words, even if she doesn't want to marry, I will still marry her to you. Shu Dazong laughed. Chen Zhang's eyebrows twitched. Hearing Shu Dazong's words, he felt that his daughter might not be so good, or that she might have some other flaw. Haha, Shu Dazong laughed. Young man, what are you afraid of? Are you worried that my daughter is a monster? Quote. You agreed so readily, I'm really worried. Chen Shang laughed. Chen Shang being so easy to talk with caused Chen Shang to be a little surprised. You don't have to be afraid. You know that brat Fang Zishan is also not bad, he really likes my daughter. Shu Dazong lowered his voice and said, however, if you can defeat him, my daughter will be yours. Chen Shang rubbed his chin, and said, I keep having the feeling that your father is unreliable, how can you make such a trade with your daughter? Shu Dazong sighed, that's not what I wanted. In fact, it was my daughter's wish. She wanted Fang Zishan to challenge all the heroes of Star La Divine Realm, and if he could not lose, she would marry Fang Zishan. If anyone agreed to Fang Zishan's request, she would marry that person. I was just fishing for a bit. Quote. Then what are we waiting for? Call your daughter out, she's mine. Chen Shang snickered. But now she's gone back on her word. How about this, if you wait more than 10 or 20 years for me to give you another daughter, then I won't be breaking my promise. Shu Dazong's words stunned him. Chen Shang was stunned for a while, then said, no, I want this one now. Is there no other way? Quote. Shu Dazong shook his head and sighed, no, I didn't know that she was just saying that back then, and Fang Zishan and I took it seriously, I was tricked by this girl. Little brother, just promise me that I'll work hard and give birth to 2 of them. I guarantee that they will be my daughters. I don't want my reputation to be ruined. Pride Pill God 2327. A woman like Fang Zishan isn't simple. I'm going to take her. Chen Shang did not make any concessions. Shu Dazong thought for a while, then said, there is still a way. You said it earlier, the woman that Fang Zishan has his eyes on, is definitely not an ordinary woman. Fang Zishan was raised by me, so my daughter is not weak either. If you can defeat her, maybe she will follow you. I'll talk to her again. Quote. Shu Dazong let out a silent sigh, and sat down to drink his tea. He never thought that the newly ascended Purple Yuan leader would actually be such a wonder. Hey, don't forget what you're doing here. Are you really determined to take that fellow's daughter away? Uaa laughed. Of course, I spent 20 divine deity and even defeated Fang Zishan in broad daylight. So Shu Dazong's daughter is mine. Even if I have to flatten Purple Yuan sect, I will bring her away. This is a matter of principle. Chen Shang drank his tea and waited patiently. An hour later, Shu Dazong came back again. He said with a beaming smile, my daughter agreed, she said that as long as you pass her 3 tests, she will agree to marry you. Of course, if you fail, I will give you 2 daughters. It's rare to see a good son-in-law like you, I think you're much better than Fang Zishan. Quote. Of course, I'm much more handsome than him. What part of him can compare to me? Chen Shang laughed shamelessly, quickly, bring me to find your daughter. The Purple Yuan sect was huge, and there were purple flowers everywhere, making it look extremely beautiful. Chen Shang followed behind Shu Dazong for a while before arriving at the entrance of a house. My daughter is inside, you can go in by yourself. I won't go with you. After Shu Dazong finished speaking, he was about to leave, but was pulled by Chen Shang by the back of his collar. Why don't you come in with me? Chen Shang asked. I'm afraid her test for you began when you came in the door. It was you who wanted to marry her, so of course you had to face her test yourself. Shu Dazong laughed. Hey, you seem to be afraid of your daughter. Chen Shang said, I do not know anything about your daughter, I want me to become your son-in-law, at least you have to help me. She was born with this kind of terrifying and mysterious power, it was called the power of a curse. For example, if she says you will die, you will die. When she says that you're a turtle, you become a turtle. Other than that, she also knows some strange formations, and once you enter her formations, you will be very unlucky. I had already stepped into a formation before I became a dog, and had to change into a human for more than a month. When Shu Dazong talked about this matter, his eyes were filled with fear. That's why I felt that you had to accept my other suggestion. Wait a while for me, I'll give birth to 2 normal ones for you. Hearing Shu Dazong's description of his daughter's ability, Chen Shang was also filled with curiosity. This kind of ability could be considered very terrifying. No, I want her. Chen Shang immediately went to push the door, but Xu Dazong was already gone. Chapter 2328. Chen Shang was only curious now, wanting to see how terrifying Xu Dazong's daughter was. To him, this challenge was just too exciting. After pushing open the door, a burst of fragrance drifted in the air, accompanied by the melodious chirping of birds. Before Chen Shang even saw the inside, his mind was filled with a beautiful scenery. "Miss Xu," Chen Shang called out softly, then looked at the inside of the courtyard, which was filled with beautiful flowers and jade-green trees. It looked like a small garden. Hearing Chen Zhang's voice, the little birds that were chirping away on the trees flew away, the butterflies that were dancing in the flowers also flew away in fright. Chen Shang did not get a response, and lightly shouted again, "Miss Xu, are you here?" After entering the house, Chen Shang gently closed the door, and then carefully walked on the cobblestone path in the garden. Just now, he had heard from Xu Dazong that his daughter liked to set up a curse array in this place. "I'm here," the voice came from a pavilion not far away. There was a woman wearing a long, green dress there. Her back was facing Chen Shang, and Chen Shang could only see her beautiful long hair that was like a waterfall. Her hairpin had a golden butterfly ornament on it. When she strummed the zither, this golden butterfly ornament would flutter its wings, which was extremely eye-catching. "His back is not bad," Chen Shang immediately evaluated. "Oh right, I noticed this pavilion when I came in. No one was here just now. This woman suddenly appeared out of nowhere. I'm sure I'm not mistaken, it's just too weird in the middle of the day." When Chen Shang came in, he had observed carefully. The pavilion's construction was extremely exquisite, and he was more concerned with it, which was why he felt that it was strange. He immediately walked towards the pavilion. He did not sense any formation magic power here, so there was definitely no illusion formation or anything of the sort. Then how did this woman appear? If he were to use spatial force, then there would definitely be a slight fluctuation in space and he would definitely be caught. Chen Shang kept walking and thinking along the way. It was as if this woman had appeared out of thin air, but seeing her playing the zither seemed like she had been here for a long time. Chen Shang arrived at the pavilion on his journey here safely and did not encounter any unusual happenings. He walked around the woman and carefully looked at her delicate and pretty face, which was just as Xu Dazong had said. His daughter was a rare beauty, and had a unique charm. The lady was playing the zither seriously with her head down. What made Chen Shang surprised was that although she saw the girl playing the zither, she couldn't hear anything. "I heard your name is Yunfei." She raised her head and looked at Chen Shang, her eyes flowing with electricity, causing Chen Zhang's heart to thump loudly. When the woman spoke, she had a warm and beautiful smile on her face. It wasn't as strange as her father had said. Chen Shang was not confused by the lady's expression just now. The other party's tricks did not have much effect on him. He was extremely vigilant, otherwise, he would be at a disadvantage. "Miss, what about you?" Chen Shang asked again. "Xu Yuqing." She smiled sweetly and said, "I'm afraid you are not called Yunfei. You're being dishonest. How do you know my name is not Yunfei? You don't even know me, how can you be so sure?" Chen Shang laughed. "You lied. People like you are used to lying, so it's hard to see where you're going, but I happen to see that you're lying." Xu Yuqing chuckled. "If you want to marry me, but you aren't even willing to tell me your real name, your sincerity isn't enough. It doesn't matter if I'm called Yunfei or not, no matter what my name is, I defeated Fang Zishan, so I'm your man." Chen Shang laughed. "Didn't my father tell you? I have to accept 3 small tests from me before I can marry you." Xu Yuqing laughed faintly. "The first test I'm giving you is to be honest with me, can you do that?" Chen Shang thought for a while, then nodded, "That won't be difficult." Xu Yuqing chuckled. "Then can you tell me your real name now?" Chen Shang scratched his head, and said puzzledly, "Just because of this, you wasted a test. My name is Chen Shang." Quote. When Xu Yuqing heard Chen Zhang's name, he chuckled, but it was unknown if she was surprised or what she was doing. "Is my name that funny?" Chen Shang asked. "I just think that you are a very funny person, and your way of doing it is also very funny. Don't think that we don't know, the death of our previous Purple Yuan sect is related to you. We have long known about your alliance with Dai Donggong." Xu Yuqing said, "You are the great enemy of our Purple Yuan sect, but you want to marry me. But that's not contradictory, is it? You and your father don't have any deep grudges with me, so your father still has to be grateful to me. If I didn't kill your former leader, how could your father have his current status?" Chen Shang curled his lips. "What's the second test?" The second test is a bit difficult. Shu Yuking stood up. She was shorter than Chen Shang by a head, her eyes flashed with a mischievous light, and she laughed. Go tell my father, you are Chen Shang. It would be better to bring him here and tell him that I want to see his expression for myself. Quote. It's really a little difficult. Chen Shang was startled, and laughed. But now, isn't it difficult for you? Shu Yuking saw that Chen Shang was still smiling, and frowned slightly. I just felt that it would be a bit more difficult to bring him here because he was afraid that you would die of fear. He heard that the last time he mistakenly touched your formation, he became a dog. There is a shadow in his heart. Chen Shang said in a solemn voice, I am thinking about how I can bring him here. Shu Yuking stared blankly for a while, and then let out a chuckle. The last time did indeed leave a deep impression on him. It seems like it will be a little difficult for you to get him to come here. After Chen Shang left the courtyard, he immediately went back the way he came and found Shu Dazong, who was singing loudly on top of a small hill. Like father, like daughter. Not a normal guy. Chen Shang walked over, grabbed Shu Dazong, and without saying a word, dragged him using the shrinking step to rush to Shu Yuking's courtyard. Kid, what's wrong? Shu Dazong asked in shock. Before I finished singing, what had happened? You couldn't have been cursed by him to kill me, right? Quote. Your daughter wants me to take you to her place. This is a test. As Chen Shang spoke, he teleported to the pavilion where Shu Yuking was. Chapter 2329. When Shu Yuking saw that Chen Shang and her father suddenly appeared, and was even talking nonsense, she immediately understood that Chen Shang had forcefully dragged his father here. She did not expect that Chen Shang would arrive so quickly, and had only left for less than an hour. Father. Seeing that his father had arrived, Shu Yuking stood up and greeted him. Girl, why did you get him to bring me here? Your father is already old, and can't bear the torment any longer, so don't make things difficult for me anymore. Shu Dazong laughed bitterly. Shu Yuking glanced at Chen Shang with a smile in his eyes, and shot him a meaningful glance. Senior Shu, actually, my real name is Chen Shang, I am not Yun Fei. Chen Shang said seriously. What, Chen Shang, is he the one who killed our previous leader together with Dai Donggong? Shu Dazong was shocked. You little bastard, I'll kill you right now. Even though Shu Dazong said this, he did not make a move. Because he saw that Chen Shang was extremely calm. Why didn't you run? Shu Dazong asked. Because I want to ask you, how did you know that I killed your former leader? Chen Shang felt that this matter was pretty secretive and that the Purple Yuan sect wouldn't know about it. At most, they only knew that it was Dai Donggong who did it. That guy's power jewel is a little special, and some images of him dying appeared in his power jewel. I saw them, and when I went to Everlasting Mountain to ask around, I knew it was you. Shu Dazong replied seriously. I killed that guy, aren't you leader now? Even though your previous leader looked very old, he could still hold on for a while. If he didn't die, would you have reached where you are today? Chen Shang said. That's right, if he doesn't die, then it's not my turn to go up on stage. Shu Dazong nodded. I really don't understand. Purple Yuan sect is such a big sect, how did you manage to become a leader? Chen Shang laughed. You don't look like a leader. That's because you don't understand me well enough to underestimate me. Inside the Purple Yuan sect, there are a few factions, but I am the strongest. Although those fellows are all peak divine lord of the older generation, their overall strength is still inferior to mine. Shu Dazong said proudly. Father, didn't you just want to kill him? Shu Yuking reminded. Yes. As Shu Dazong said this, he rolled up his sleeves, and then said, this guy doesn't look that bad either. I'm quite satisfied with him. It's also not bad to be my son-in-law, even though it's someone I want to kill. Quote. I say, uncle, for you to be able to get to this kind of position, you definitely won't have such a short lifespan. Since I was able to kill your former leader and even bring Dai Donggong down with me, what do you think of my potential? Chen Shang patted his shoulder and asked. With his bad temper, it would be difficult for him to join other powers, not to mention that he had to give up his position as leader, betray the Everlasting Mountain, and go against the sect his master created. It looks like I've been cursed. Shu Dazong said. This is my ability. Chen Shang laughed. Uncle, since you have yet to form a deep hatred with me, you shouldn't think about me anymore. Cooperation is the way of development. Didn't you say that earlier? Your Purple Yuan sect has a few factions, and the leaders of those factions are all the older ones. They can only fight you one-on-one. If they were to join hands, do you think you can handle them? Quote. As Shu Yuking listened from the side, he secretly praised Chen Zhang's methods. He actually wanted to rope in her father. Thinking about it, she also felt that Chen Shang was very strong. To be able to defeat this arrogant Fang Zishan and even rope him in, she must have some kind of extraordinary place. If you offended such a person, then you must get rid of him as soon as possible. Otherwise, there would be endless troubles in the future. If you didn't offend him, then don't provoke him. You need an ally. If I marry your daughter, I will be your best ally. Chen Shang laughed. Sounds good. I'll spare your life. After Xu Dazong thought it through, he laughed out loud and patted Chen Zhang's shoulder. Continue working hard. After you pass the test, my delicate daughter will be yours. I'm leaving, you guys continue. Xu Dazong walked very quickly, and after he walked out of the courtyard, he was still in a state of shock. The second test has been passed. Chen Shang laughed. What's the next one? The last one is hard. You have to catch me. Shu Yuking said. Simple. Chen Shang walked over, and just as she was about to grab onto Shu Yuking's clothes, she unexpectedly grabbed empty air, and Shu Yuking also turned into a cloud that scattered away. Yuqing, where are you? If you don't appear, how can I capture you? Chen Shang shouted. This Shu Yuking actually had such a powerful ability, wanting to capture her was not easy. This is a test. If you want to overcome the difficulty, do not worry. I will not run around in this courtyard. Her light voice echoed in Chen Zhang's ears, but he was unable to determine where Shu Yuking was. Chen Shang immediately used the Dao Heart Eye. He felt that Shu Yuking must have grasped some powerful technique, if not he would not have allowed her to have the power of the curse as well as such a technique. She should not know that I have the Dao Heart Eye. Chen Shang was overjoyed, because he saw Shu Yuking, who was currently in a patch of flowers in the courtyard. After seeing Shu Yuking, Chen Shang immediately used counter power and also suddenly disappeared. Ever since he came back, this was the first time he used the counter power. He also wanted to see if anyone in this Star Law Divine Realm could see through him. After Chen Shang unleashed her counter power, Shu Yuking, who was wandering in the flower bush, was like a startled bird, suddenly flying up. She did not expect Chen Shang to actually know such a technique that could make her disappear. It was rather similar to her ability first. I wonder if she can see me. After Chen Shang used the Dao Heart Eye to catch Shu Yuking, he immediately chased after him. Shu Yuking floated in midair, as if she was looking for Chen Zhang's trace. She was unable to see Chen Shang, and she was currently using all kinds of abilities she possessed to check where Chen Shang was. Space Seal. Using the power of space, Chen Shang sealed the small space around Shu Yuking. Just when Chen Shang thought that he had succeeded, he realized that Shu Yuking, who had turned into a transparent mist, had actually escaped through his spatial seal. Shu Yuking was secretly shocked in her heart. Chen Zhang's spatial energy was far stronger than she had expected. I understand. Chen Shang suddenly thought of something, and felt that he would have to grab onto Shu Yuking very soon, because he could see through the method that Shu Yuking had used. Chapter 2330. Shu Yuking was currently flying around randomly, and she completely followed her own set of rules of the game. She said that she wouldn't fly out if she didn't run out of the courtyard, and she was flying around randomly right now, just to avoid being locked on by Chen Shang. Because she already knew that Chen Shang could see her tracks. Understand what? You curiously asked. This isn't her true body, it's just her divine soul. And it's even a very strong divine soul, looking exactly the same as the original body. Chen Shang said. The divine soul can be controlled as and when the user wishes, and can transform into various things according to the user's wishes. It's just that this can only be accomplished within the divine sense C. The reason why she can do it now is because she has mastered a secret art. As long as her divine soul does not stray too far from her main body, she can also change as she pleases within the divine sense C. Chen Shang said. Right now, she has already turned into a pile of fallen leaves, hiding inside of the pile of fallen leaves. UAA replied, that's actually divine soul. I didn't see it either. Is there any way to catch her? Quote. Of course there is. The best way to capture divine soul is to use the divine sense CS themselves. Looks like I have to get her into my divine sense C. Chen Shang chuckled. At the same time, he was also thinking about Shu Yuking's movements. After Shu Yuking transformed into a fallen leaf, he floated along with the wind into a patch of grass, and then, he quietly turned into a small blade of grass. She thought that Chen Shang would retreat in the end due to the difficulties he faced, but she didn't expect him to have so many methods, otherwise she would have set a time limit. That way, if Chen Shang wasn't able to catch her within the time limit, she wouldn't be able to pass. This move was also her greatest reliance, so after Chen Shang had passed her 2 tests earlier, she was extremely calm and collected. Of course she didn't want to marry Chen Shang, or even more importantly, she didn't want to marry anyone. Otherwise, she wouldn't have to stir up so many troubles and create so many troubles for herself, but she felt that it was extremely dangerous now. If Chen Shang really managed to pass her 3rd trial, she would have no choice but to brace herself and marry Chen Shang. Although Xu Yuqing was unwilling, she had her principles and kept her promise. She had never gone against what she had said before. Moreover, Chen Zhang's overall conditions were pretty good. She felt that she could endure it. Just as Xu Yuqing was thinking, her eyes suddenly flashed, and she appeared in an unfamiliar place. This was not her own small courtyard. She came to a beach, and in front of her was a beautiful blue sea. White clouds floated in the blue sky for thousands of miles, and behind her was a beautiful sea of flowers. I got you. Chen Shang smiled as he looked at her shoulder. Why did you change back? Xu Yuqing looked at her body. She had actually changed into a human form, and it was not something she could control. What exactly is this place? Could it be? Xu Yuqing was shocked. I'm in your divine sense sea. Xu Yuqing looked around. She was currently on a beautiful small island, and in front of her was Lan Hai, who looked as far as she could see. Is this really your divine sense sea? Xu Yuqing did not dare to believe that a strong person like Chen Shang could actually be so calm, that this kind of person would actually be someone who pursued a peaceful life. Chen Shang nodded. Of course he would not tell Xu Yuqing that he still had the 2nd divine sense sea. In a sense, his 2nd divine sense sea was his real divine sense sea. I've grabbed your divine soul. Does this count as having passed your test? Chen Shang laughed. After all, I did not catch your true body. Xu Yuqing hesitated for a moment, then nodded. It's considered a pass. How the hell did you see me? And how did he find out that I used divine soul? Even my father couldn't tell. Quote, I accidentally learned a secret technique that allows me to see any form of energy, so I can see you. I didn't realize that you were using divine soul at the beginning, but your divine soul is indeed very unique. It is exactly the same as a real person's, and there are even some fluctuations of divine deity on your body. At this moment, Chen Shang still could not understand how Xu Yuqing did it, because he could see that Xu Yuqing's divine soul contained a bones within. If divine soul could produce a physical body, and then cultivate a bones within the flesh body of the divine soul, wouldn't that be equivalent to him breaking through the limits of 9 divine deity? Then how did you figure it out? Xu Yuqing was very curious about this kind of secret technique that she had accidentally learned. She planned to ask Chen Shang about it in the future since she could be considered Chen Zhang's wife now. I know you are changing, but when you are changing, there are no energy fluctuations. Furthermore, I can see that your energy is always in the same form. This is a phenomenon that only happens in Divine Sense CS, so I saw it. Once your divine soul leaves the Divine Sense Sea, you can do whatever you want within the Divine Sense Sea. Chen Shang praised. Under Chen Zhang's control, Xu Yuqing's divine soul had also left Chen Zhang's divine sense sea. Xu Yuqing's divine soul had also disappeared. Then, a house not too far away opened up, and Xu Yuqing walked out. Her main body looked exactly the same as her divine soul. The main body has 8 bones and 5 bones. I wonder if she can use these bones at the same time. If she can, then her strength is not weak either. Chen Shang was shocked. He suddenly became cautious. This was the person with the most bones he had met. You're suddenly afraid of me? Xu Yuqing caught Chen Zhang's expression and frowned. Are you afraid of my power of curse? Or are you afraid that I'll go back on my word and kill you? You don't have to worry. I, Xu Yuqing, will do as I say. You have already passed my test, and I have also agreed to marry you. This, Yu Qing, I have several wives already. I need to explain them to you. Chen Shang coughed dryly and said. It's all right, I saw it earlier. Even though Xu Yuqing said this, she merely snorted softly and asked, are all of them very strong? He shouldn't be as strong as you, but he isn't weak either. I've been separated from them for a period of time. The next time I see them, they should be even stronger than before. Chen Shang said. Xu Yuqing walked over, circled around Chen Shang, looked at him carefully, and said, you're still wary of me. Why? I feel that you are the strongest person I have met since I came to the Star Law Divine Realm. This is purely my instinctual reaction. Chen Shang said truthfully. Why do you think so? Because of my power of curse. But when you saw me before, it wasn't like this. Did you discover something on my body? Shu Yuking asked. She cared more about this. That seemed to be her big secret. Chapter 2331. Chen Shang had already passed Shu Yuking's 3 tests, and Shu Yuking had just expressed that he would abide by his promise to be his wife. However, the two of them did not have any feelings for each other, and there was a gap between the two of them, so they lacked understanding each other. So when Chen Shang saw that Shu Yuking was hiding a very powerful strength, he was secretly vigilant. Shu Yuking was also very sensitive, and could clearly feel that Chen Shang was wary of her. Do you really want to say it? Chen Shang laughed and took 2 steps back. I'm already your wife. Killing a husband is something I can't do. Shu Yuking snorted. There is a lack of trust between us, we need to communicate properly. Alright, I just saw that your divine soul also contained bones, the amount of this bones is different from your body. Chen Shang said. In other words, the number of bones you now possess far exceeds the limit of 9 bones. That's why I'm a little scared. This is purely an instinctive reaction. I'm not familiar with you right now either. Chen Shang was actually a little worried that Shu Yuking would kill him because she didn't want to marry him, which was why he had been on guard. Sure enough, I didn't expect you to be so powerful that you could see this. Shu Yuking chuckled. Don't tell me you think that just because my bones has surpassed 9 divine deity, I am already very powerful. So you're worried that I will kill you and break the engagement? Chen Shang nodded. I did indeed think so. Shu Yuking suddenly pulled Chen Zhang's hand, and laughed. If I want to kill you, there are many ways. Furthermore, that kind of barbaric way of killing isn't something that I'm good at. To be honest, I really hate seeing blood and dead people. If I want to kill you, I'll definitely let you die in secret. Chen Shang forced a laugh. My little wife, you are really scary. Although he said that, he still held Shu Yuking's jade hand lightly, and felt its softness and softness. Shu Yuking pouted playfully, then dragged Chen Shang into the house. Chen Shang was a little surprised, but this Shu Yuking actually didn't dislike him at all, and seemed to easily accept the matter of marrying him. He thought about it for a bit, and felt that he was pretty good, so it didn't matter if Shu Yuking took a fancy to him. Just as he was about to become narcissistic, Yue suddenly said, this place is very scary. Chen Shang immediately used the Dao Heart Eye to look around. He discovered that the surroundings were filled with a silvery white energy, floating around everywhere, and there was a lot of it. Could it be the power of that curse? Chen Shang was shocked. Shu Yuking told Chen Shang to sit, then took out something to eat and give it to him. Seeing Chen Shang being a little unnatural, Shu Yuking smiled and asked, did you see something else? This place seems to be filled with a strange energy. What exactly is this place? Chen Shang said. He was not sure if that was the power of Shu Yuking's curse. Shu Yuking extended her jade palm in front of Chen Shang and said, watch carefully. Chen Shang looked at her palm and saw a ball of silver white light surging out from her palm. Feeling the light coming towards him, Chen Shang didn't know why, but he suddenly felt an unspeakable pain. Unknowingly, he actually stood up, and after feeling that he had lost control of himself, his body instinctively released a force of resistance, allowing him to sit down. Just as he sat down, the white light aura around Shu Yuking's palm also disappeared. What happened just now? Chen Shang came back to reality with a face full of shock. You were just cursed by me. You are indeed powerful, to be able to break my curse. Shu Yuking laughed, his eyes filled with praise. That was a puppet curse. As long as you touch the power of it, you will be under my control. If it was someone who was weak, he would not be able to discover it. Furthermore, after I removed the power of the curse, he only thought that he had dreamt it and would not realize it. Quote. And you discovered it right after you started, so you were able to break through my power of curse. Chen Shang said, that means, this is the curse power inside your house. Shu Yuking laughed heartily, this is only a method of self-defense, you don't have to worry, I will not hurt you. Furthermore, if I use the power of the curse on a person with a strong power like you, I will also lose a lot of energy. Chen Shang was a lot more relaxed, although this Shu Yuking looked calm and refined, but Chen Shang could feel the mischievousness deep inside her bones, which was why he was a little worried. Did you cultivate this kind of power yourself? I have been cursed before, and that kind of curse didn't hurt me much, but it annoyed me a lot. What's called the tracing mantra, it meant that the person who used that curse on me will know where I am at any time. Chen Shang said, I heard that that guy used this curse to cause great harm to himself. Of course, he doesn't have the power of the curse. He needs to sacrifice himself to obtain the power of the curse and place a curse on you. He should be using his own cultivation base or something else to make a sacrifice. I was born with the power of the curse, so I don't need to sacrifice myself. Shu Yuking said, I normally won't use it carelessly. If I use some powerful curses, I'll need to damage my own lifespan, it might even have to do with the consumption of divine deity or bones. Quote. What a strange power, Chen Shang exclaimed. Then what exactly is going on with the bones inside your divine soul? Can you get great power from that? Quote. Shu Yuking shook his head. My disappearance cannot link divine soul and physical body's bones, and cannot be linked, which means that my strength cannot be shared and the overlapping effect cannot be achieved. When I was cultivating it, I accidentally cultivated my divine soul to that state. Furthermore, my divine soul is equivalent to the avatar I have outside, so I can directly use my 100 gods level. And later on, I realized that this divine soul can even cultivate bones on its own. Quote. I have tried many times, but I am still unable to fuse my physical body and the bones within the divine soul. If I can do it, my current strength should be able to surpass the peak. Shu Yuking had a unique cultivation method that allowed her to step onto a path that was different from the others. Although it allowed her to become strong, it also caused her to become extremely lonely, because she was the only one who walked this path, so no matter what difficulties she encountered, she would have to resolve them herself. Chen Shang was very impressed with this, because he had also walked on an unusual path. Shu Yuking saw that Chen Shang was thinking, so she did not disturb him. She could tell that Chen Shang was the same as her, searching for a different path. Chen Zhang's divine deity had not even reached 100, but if he was able to defeat the peak divine Lord Fang Zishan, then he must have cultivated up to some kind of terrifying strength. After a while, Chen Shang took a sip of tea and softly asked, What do you think about this? If I can fuse the bones and the physical body together, my strength will be able to surpass the peak divine Lord. Quote. Chapter 2332. Chen Shang put down the teacup and said, I only thought of one idea, but I don't know if that would work. Chen Shang had a lot of experience in cultivation, so right now, he already had the second divine sense C. Moreover, he trained in double bone level, so he could think of a lot of things. What way of thinking? Shu Yuking asked anxiously, her eyes filled with urgency. Have you ever tried to cultivate a divine sense C inside that unique divine soul of yours? If you manage to cultivate it, you will have two divine sense CS and both of them will be yours. When the time comes, you just need to fuse them together and your divine soul will be able to absorb the power of the divine sense C for your main body to use. Chen Shang said. I've thought about it, but is that possible? The second divine sense C, this kind of thing is very mysterious. Shu Yuking said, I've never tried it before, it's just too difficult. It's not difficult. As long as you focus all your attention on your divine soul and focus on it, like you did in the past, you will definitely be able to cultivate a second divine sense C. With your divine soul independent second divine sense C, you can then continue to cultivate your divine deity. Chen Shang said, to cultivate the second divine sense C, this is the only way to break through to the peak divine Lord. Shu Yuking's eyes lit up, and asked softly, did you manage to cultivate up to the second divine sense C? How else do you know so much? My father never told me about the second divine sense C, and he's also been trapped in the peak divine Lord for a long time. Quote. Chen Shang did not directly answer her, he only laughed. Cultivating the second divine sense C requires a certain amount of luck, for example, you have a chance. As for how to cultivate to the second divine sense C, I don't know either, but when I have time, I will go and study it. Quote. After that, Chen Shang and Shu Yuking discussed about the second divine sense C. He asked about how Shu Yuking used divine soul to cultivate his bones, which gave him a lot of inspiration because he felt that he could try if he succeeded in training Shu Yuking. Chen Shang came to the door and looked at the full moon in the sky. Only now did he remember the reason why he was here. He wanted to cultivate the soul of a ground-suppressing immortal elephant. Where are you going? Seeing that Chen Shang was about to walk out the door, Shu Yuking anxiously stepped forward and stopped him. I'm going to look for your father. Chen Shang said. He wanted to talk to Shu Dazong and let him cultivate in the place with the densest earth qi. Why are you looking for him in the middle of the night? I'm the one who married you, not him. Since I'm your bride now, shouldn't you do something to her? Shu Yuking said softly, her face slightly red. I forgot. Chen Shang turned around and laughed. Since I've agreed to marry you, I will of course give myself to you completely. Shu Yuking said. Let's go take a bath first. Chen Shang laughed, and then, he hugged Shu Yuking. At this moment, he also became extremely anxious. Shu Yuking initially did not plan to take this step so quickly, but after she came into contact with Chen Shang, she realized that Chen Shang was much stronger than she had imagined, and hence, she relied on him in a rather difficult manner. Furthermore, she felt that she would give this to Chen Shang sooner or later, so she decided to simply rely on him. In the morning of the second day, Chen Shang looked at Shu Yuking, who was sleeping soundly with his back facing him. Aren't we having a big wedding? Chen Shang asked as he saw Shu Yuking waking up and kissed her on the cheek. No need, I don't like the liveliness. It's fine as long as it's like that. Shu Yuking's cheeks flushed red, and she also kissed Chen Zhang's cheeks. Didn't you have some matter to attend to? Hurry up and go. Chen Shang anxiously stood up and donned his clothes. He did not think that it would be so easy to subdue this strange lady. He looked at her flawless jade body, and could not believe that Shu Yuking would obey him so easily. Didn't you see enough last night? Shu Yuking pouted as she put on her clothes, then laughed. What, do you still think I will harm you? I just can't believe it. Chen Shang laughed. Hurry up and get busy. I'm already yours, are you afraid that I'll run away? Shu Yuking chuckled. It's too easy to obtain it, don't you feel a sense of conquest? Of course not. Chen Shang kissed Shu Yuking's cherry lips and laughed. My beautiful lady, I just think that it's too surreal. A girl like you, unexpectedly followed me so easily. Don't you have too little confidence in yourself? Can't you see the advantages of yourself? I only decided to follow you after much deliberation. Otherwise, I would have already run away, and you wouldn't have been able to do anything to me. Shu Yuking helped Chen Shang organize his clothes. What a good wife. Chen Shang caressed her face and laughed. Oh right, are your wives as good as I am to you? Will they bully me? Shu Yuking asked with a worried look on his face. Just don't bully them. They are all very easygoing people. Although they don't have your strength, they are outstanding in other areas. For example, refining pills, they are very powerful. Chen Shang laughed. They will be coming over soon. When that time comes, I need you to help them get familiar with this place. Shu Yuking nodded, although she had grasped the power of the terrifying curse, but she was still rather gentle and kind, only a little mischievous from time to time. Chen Shang left Shu Yuking's house and found Shu Dazong. This fellow had been singing that unpleasant song since early morning. If he wasn't leader, with this kind of singing that sounded like the wailing of ghosts and the howling of wolves, he would have been smashed to death by those smelly shoes long ago. You're still alive, you've passed the examination. When Shu Dazong saw Chen Shang, he immediately ran over and patted Chen Zhang's body. Miracle, a miracle. You stayed in that damn place of hers for the whole night, and nothing happened. Quote. Chen Shang shrugged his shoulders, and said, Father-in-law, you're underestimating me too much. Shu Dazong stared blankly for a moment before wrinkling his nose. He was even more shocked when he smelled the fragrance of his daughter's body from Chen Zhang's body. Good boys, did you get married? Shu Dazong asked with a face full of shock. Chen Shang laughed but did not say a word, with an expression that said, you understand. Shu Dazong gave him a thumbs up. Good son-in-law. Father-in-law, I'm already your son-in-law, and as the leader, do you mean that you should give me a present or something? Chen Shang laughed. I already gave my precious daughter to you, what else do you want? It's good enough that I don't ask you for a present. Shu Dazong said snappily. Shu Dazong dragged Chen Shang into a secret room and asked, what exactly do you plan to do in the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star? We agreed to join hands. You have to tell me, or we will clash. After Chen Shang came into contact with Shu Dazong, he felt that he was a pretty good person. They were both very interesting, and now that he was his father-in-law, they were naturally worthy of his trust. Chapter 2333. Shu Dazong had previously said that there were several factions in the Purple Yuan sect. The reason he could become the leader was because his overall strength was stronger. However, this did not guarantee that he could sit down peacefully. Even if he could sit down peacefully in this position, the entire Purple Yuan sect was not completely in his control. Chen Shang also understood that for a power like the Purple Yuan sect, there were also cases where people were scheming internally, but they were not very obvious and came from the shadows. Now that Shu Dazong had won over Chen Shang, he was naturally very happy. After all, this was his kin and was the most trustworthy. Our current plan is to first strengthen ourselves, cultivate a few peak Divine Lord, and then secretly get our hands on them. Oh right, the Everlasting Mountain is currently being taken over by your Purple Yuan sect. Chen Shang said, Father-in-law, when the time comes, you must cooperate with me a little. If you let Everlasting Mountain out, I will definitely give you a lot of benefits. I don't care about the Everlasting Mountain, it has been taken over by two factions, this is a piece of meat. If I were to once again swallow the Everlasting Mountain, it would definitely incur the wrath of the masses, and I would also have no choice but to give up the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star. Xu Dazong said helplessly, although he was sloppy, he still had a lot of brains. Giving the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star to another faction was just a matter of exchanging interests. Only then would he be able to sit in the position of the leader. That's not good. Wang Ancient Heavenly Star is different from the other heavenly stars. This Wang Ancient Heavenly Star has a lot of potential, they had been secretly developing it over there, maybe they will fight back and force you to abdicate. Chen Shang said, the reason why you are able to speak calmly now is because everyone's strength is equal. Of course I understand, my overall strength is stronger, but they are all the same, so I was isolated from the group. You might not know this, but I did not want to become a leader at the start, so the benefits I gained from becoming a leader are not small. However, this also means that those guys have to be more wary of me, and at the same time, I have to sacrifice more benefits for their safety, otherwise, they would join forces to deal with me. Quote. Xu Dazong was in a passive state the entire time. He could only brace himself to become a leader because even if he did not do it, he would also be isolated. It would be better to go up and fish for a bit first. Father-in-law, what you mean is, I can freely attack Everlasting Mountain now? Chen Shang asked. You can come at will, but you must not expose yourself. You must not let them know that you are my son-in-law or else I won't be able to survive here. Xu Dazong patted Chen Zhang's shoulder, if you were to stall them at Wang Ancient Heavenly Star, you would be able to shoulder a lot of burden for me. The fellows who went to Everlasting Mountain all wanted to get rid of me, and are currently developing in secret. Quote. How many sects do you have in total in Purple Yuan sect? Chen Shang asked. Including me, there are a total of 7 factions. 2 of the stronger ones went to the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star, 2 of them are the fence sitters, and 2 of them are even at the Zi Yuan Villa. The other half of the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star is also a part of the Purple Yuan sect. The other half of the small and middle-sized forces in the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star have been won over by them, and they are developing very quickly. Xu Dazong said. Chen Shang also never thought that it would be so interesting. The inside of the Purple Yuan sect was actually also a piece of loose sand, he had thought that the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star was like this before. But it had to be said that even though the Purple Yuan sect was strong, they were still the leaders of various factions. I'll help you deal with the fellow from Everlasting Mountain. When the time comes, give me the Everlasting Mountain. Chen Shang replied, Everlasting Mountain is more important to me. There was a mysterious and terrifying seal at the bottom of Everlasting Mountain. Chen Shang had to protect it, otherwise, if anything powerful were to appear, the entire Star Law Divine Realm or even the entire 9 Heaven world would be in trouble. Oh right, father-in-law, is there a place with dense earth chi in the Purple Yuan sect? Chen Shang asked. Of course, why? Xu Dazong asked. Are you in charge? Chen Shang asked again. Yes, are you going to cultivate? Xu Dazong laughed. There is nothing good to cultivate in absorbing earth chi, although it is very useful, but it is not good to use it for cultivation. I have tried it, it is useless. Let me in for a while, I want to give it a try. Chen Shang said, he was not sure if he could cultivate the ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul by absorbing the earth chi. Follow me. Xu Dazong did not say much. Chen Shang was his good son-in-law and could help him a lot, so of course he had to treat him well. Chen Shang followed Xu Dazong down a flight of stairs that led to a deep underground cave. After this earth energy is released through the earth, it will become divine energy, an endless stream of it. This is also the foundation of the formation that our Purple Yuan sect maintains. Xu Dazong said this is the place with the densest earth chi, and also where we set up the array foundation, so we made a stone room here, you can cultivate here. To be able to release such dense earth chi, there must be something below to convert the core of the earth. Chen Shang only thought about it, he could not mess around in Purple Yuan sect. After Xu Dazong left, he left Chen Shang here to cultivate, he was completely at ease with Chen Shang. This guy is not bad. Next time, ask him if he knows anything about the undead divine race. A peak divine lord as young as him would probably not get involved in that sort of thing. Yu said. I will definitely go and ask. Chen Shang began to absorb earth chi and cultivate. After cultivating for a long time, he realized that there was no effect. Just as Shu Dazong had said, there was no point in absorbing the earth chi. I don't believe it. Chen Shang took out the Chuangshi God furnace. He planned to refine all this earth chi, and after using the heavenly alchemy to refine it, it would increase the quality of his body a lot. With so much earth chi, he felt that he could use it to refine a Jingshan Dan. Using the method inside the heavenly alchemy, Chen Shang absorbed a large amount of earth chi into the Chuangshi God furnace. After continuously absorbing for an entire day, it was only until a large ball of viscous liquid was formed within the Chuangshi God furnace did Chen Shang stop. These items are much more tame than divine medicine, so refining them shouldn't be too difficult. After Chen Shang used the flames to refine it for a period of time, he would remove the impurities inside it and then use the collision method to improve its quality after a period of time. He was already very familiar with these techniques. Moreover, he did not learn how to refine the king-grade god pellet, so refining the earth chi into a pellet was not difficult for him. After concocting for an entire day, he took out a black pill from the furnace. It's a Jingshan Dan, how can it be black? Chen Shang frowned, this should be considered a king-grade god pill. Let's call it Earth Yuanshan Dan. Quote. Chapter 2334. Chen Shang ate the Earth Yuanshan Dan that was just refined, and the refined earth chi erupted from his body. He immediately channeled this wave of earth chi into the bones on his head, and gathered there. In less than a day, he had completely refined all of the earth energy into his bones, but the ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul had not formed yet. Are we going to succeed or not? Chen Shang didn't have any confidence now. Forming the ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul in the air was extremely difficult. Fortunately, he had clearly seen this ground-suppressing immortal elephant in his dantian before, so he felt that it was possible. In the following days, he refined 10 Earth Yuanshan Dan, ate them one by one, and continued to cultivate the ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul. Now, he refined faster and faster. In just half a day's time, he could refine one soul. Very quickly, he had refined 6 of them, but there was only a black object inside his bones, and the ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul had not appeared yet. Keep eating, I don't believe it. Chen Shang had finished eating and refining all of the remaining Earth Yuanshan Dan, but he still had not refined the ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul. However, he had made a lot of progress. When he was refining the ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul, he used the heavenly alchemy. Now, he could already see the elementary form of the ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul, but it was still a very vague outline. Even so, it allowed Chen Shang to see hope. It let him know that his hard work had not been in vain, and gave him the motivation to continue cultivating. Seems like I need quite a number of Yuanshan Danes to form this ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul. It is not easy. Chen Shang was frantically absorbing the earth chi here, pouring it into the Chuangshi God furnace. He wanted to refine more Earth Yuanshan Dan. Right now, the speed at which he refined the Earth Yuanshan Dan had increased by a lot as well. This time, he had concocted 100 pills, which took him more than 20 days. He had been closed up here for more than 2 months. In the blink of an eye, Chen Shang had closed up for more than half a year. This boy is truly amazing. After being in closed-door training for so long, he has completely forgotten about my delicate daughter. Is he even a man? Shu Dazong was walking around the outer sect disciples, because Shu Yuking had already come to look for him twice, but Chen Shang was still meditating below. Dad, forget it. He's busy with his training. I just have some things I want to ask him. Shu Yuking, on the other hand, completely understood Chen Zhang's unique cultivation method. Right now, it was definitely a critical moment. However, she felt that after being separated from Chen Shang for 2 months, she missed him a lot. This was the first time she missed a man so much. Shu Dazong nodded his head. You are quite ambitious, not bad, young lad. Oh right, did Fang Zishan look for you? His injuries have already healed quite a bit. Chen Shang, this guy knows his limits very well, and did not leave him with any hidden ailments. Quote. Shu Yuking shook his head. No, he still hasn't given up on me. I am now a married woman. Quote. Shu Dazong sighed. I am just a little worried. Since childhood, he has always liked you. Moreover, in order to cultivate to peak Divine Lord, he sacrificed a lot. I'm even getting a little obsessed, and I'm afraid that he might get a blow from this. Quote. Fang Zishan was, after all, a disciple that Xu Dazong had single-handedly brought up, and his strength was also not bad. He had helped Fang Zishan with a lot of good words, but Xu Yuqing was unwilling to marry Fang Zishan. "Father, this fellow Fang Zishan is sick. He never smiled at me when he was with me. I know he's your disciple, and you've also said a lot of good things for him, so I tried to get along with him, but this guy is so boring." Xu Yuqing scoffed. "How come you never told me?" Xu Dazong frowned. "You've really tried to date him before." "He didn't tell me, he said you were being unkind to him." Quote. Xu Yuqing immediately snorted. "Bullsh*t, I've always treated him with kindness and cold butt. If it wasn't for the fact that he's your disciple, I would have cursed him a long time ago. This guy is really going too far." Quote. "Father, the main reason why I don't like him is because he looks down on me. He thinks that I have to respect him, worship him and admire him the same as I do, putting my peak Divine Lord's strength on the table all day long. I really can't take it anymore and have never seen him again." Quote. Xu Dazong asked in shock, "There's such a thing? Although Ztian is a bit arrogant, he has never been so impudent in front of me before." Quote. Xu Yuqing snorted. "Fang Zishan doesn't even like me, he just wants to take me, and use this to raise his prestige, so that he can show off in front of others. So what if it was the peak Divine Lord? Wasn't he still beaten fiercely by Chen Shang? Chen Shang is 100 times better than him." Quote. "Who am I 100 times better than?" Chen Zhang's laughter suddenly came over. He had already condensed the ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul, and at this moment, his bones had become extremely peculiar, as though it had life, and from time to time, it would release a burst of vitality. "Husband." When Xu Yuqing saw Chen Shang, she immediately ran over and hugged Chen Zhang's arm sweetly. It was obvious that she missed Chen Shang a lot. "Brat, you're finally out. But you don't seem to be improving that much." Seeing that Chen Shang and Chen Zhang's relationship was that good, Xu Dazong was relieved. Chen Shang only laughed. He did not improve at all. After all, he was only preparing for the second divine sense C. "Oh right, you have to be careful of Fang Zishan, he will hold a grudge." Xu Dazong said seriously, "I will find him for a chat, and tell him not to find trouble with you." Chen Shang nodded. He was not afraid of Fang Zishan at all. "Let's go back." Xu Yuqing held Chen Zhang's hand and ran out of his place. After walking out, Chen Shang used teleportation to bring Xu Yuqing to her house. "So fierce, I didn't expect you to be so good at using the power of space," Xu Yuqing said in pleasant surprise, and then pulled Chen Shang into the house. "Young lady, what's the matter? So hasty?" Chen Shang laughed as he gave Xu Yuqing a kiss on the cheek. Xu Yuqing also turned her head to his side and kissed him. After a while, Xu Yuqing bit her lips, her face slightly red. She muttered, "You actually had the heart to abandon me, and have closed up for such a long time. Hee, I'll make it up to you now." Chen Shang carried Xu Yuqing and walked into the room. After she finished speaking, Xu Yuqing's face was flushed red, and she looked extremely delicate and pretty, causing Chen Shang to be unable to resist taking a light bite on her pretty face. "What are you cultivating in seclusion?" Xu Yuqing asked in a small voice as she cuddled up in Chen Zhang's embrace. "Cultivating the ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul. Even if I told you, you wouldn't understand," Chen Shang said. "The soul of the ground-suppressing immortal elephant? I truly do not understand, but I have heard of ground-suppressing immortal elephant." Xu Yuqing asked in surprise, "Your cultivation is related to ground-suppressing immortal elephant?" Chapter 2335. Xu Yuqing was very curious about the matters regarding her cultivation. Her cultivation only carried the spirit of exploration, so she knew a lot of things, and this was something that she had accumulated from going to other places to search for ancient books. It was because she knew that her own way of cultivation was unique, so she wanted to see if there were any situations similar to hers that she could learn from. The ground-suppressing immortal elephants don't seem to have much to do with each other. "Where did you hear that from?" Chen Shang asked anxiously. "Legend has it that ground-suppressing immortal elephant were very scary. They not only suppress the earth, but also the hell. Quite a few people have seen the 4 divine beasts that we are more familiar with, and fire unicorns of the common type are also very common. But only ground-suppressing immortal elephants have appeared, and not many people have witnessed it," Xu Yuqing said. At this time, Chen Zhang's hand was rubbing her chest, allowing her to gently spit. "I heard that ground-suppressing immortal elephant can transform into a fire unicorn as well. What's going on?" His second divine sense C was in a similar situation. Previously, his ground-suppressing immortal elephant had already transformed into a fire unicorn, but now, it was hiding in the sky and there was one more ground-suppressing immortal elephant. A qilin transformed from a ground-suppressing immortal elephant is not simple at all. It's called a heavenly qilin, or a heaven-suppressing beast, or a heaven-suppressing qilin. There are some in the star law divine realm, but they are rarely seen. It is said that their strength is extremely terrifying, and they are existences that have surpassed the peak divine lord. Shu Yuking sat up and dressed himself. That was what the Azure Dragon had told Chen Shang. The fire unicorn's transformation was to become the master of the heaven, which meant that Shu Yuking's words were very reliable. I've read about it in an ancient book. If a ground-suppressing immortal elephant can transform into a heavenly qilin, then that means they have comprehended the heavenly Tao, become a heavenly beast, and guard the heavenly Tao. Shu Yuking said, and ground-suppressing immortal elephants in reality guard the hell of an entire world, so they are rarely seen. But generally speaking, the heavenly qilin and the ground-suppressing immortal elephant exist at the same time, and they can also be fused together. Quote. Chen Shang nodded his head, so there are so many stories behind this. Shu Yuking laughed tenderly. I did according to what you said. I am now starting to gain some insights from cultivating the second divine sense C, because this method is feasible. No wonder you're so happy. Chen Shang brought her over and kissed her again. Yuqing, come with me. I can't bear to see you. Chen Shang said as he held her in his arms. Well, I don't want to leave you either. Shu Yuking had already accepted Chen Shang, and she was even more reluctant than Chen Shang to part with him now. Chen Shang and Shu Yuking finished dressing themselves, and went to look for Shu Dazong. Are you bringing it to the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star? I am worried that she will be exposed there. The two old fellows of Wang Ancient Heavenly Star are extremely fearful of me. If my daughter were to appear there, she would definitely come to argue with me again. Shu Dazong said. Father-in-law, you don't have to worry, they will not find you. Chen Shang laughed. Alright, you guys have to be careful. Shu Dazong nodded and agreed. Oh right, father-in-law, do you know about the matter of undead divine race being killed? Chen Shang also wanted to know more about this matter. Of course I know, but I did not participate in this kind of thing. This is not a good thing, it's the doing of those people who are about to die. This bunch of bastards, did they really think that 4 divine races is a pushover? If 4 divine races comes in the future to take revenge on me, I might have to hide. When this matter was mentioned, Shu Dazong was extremely furious. Oh, 4 divine races is very strong. Chen Shang never thought that Shu Dazong would actually think this way. Of course it's strong. To tell you the truth, these god clans already existed before the Star Law Divine Realm even appeared. What do you think? However, I know that there are many branches in these god tribes, and the Star Law Divine Realm is just one of them. They were sent here a long time ago, so they should have a mission. Shu Dazong said. Chen Shang immediately thought of the seal below the everlasting mountain. Only the 4 divine races could reinforce the seal together. Could this be the 4 divine races' mission? After telling Shu Dazong what to do, Chen Shang brought Shu Yuking and left. He let Shu Yuking enter his serene jade ring, and he had Yuei inside to accompany her. She would definitely not be alone. Kat was the same as Chen Shang. They both liked beautiful girls, and when they saw beauties, they would want to get close to them. In addition to her cute acting, Shu Yuking quickly liked her. Chen Shang left for half a year, and finally returned to the Kang Cloud City's villa. Wu Ji also returned. The reason Wu Ji left earlier was to look for the elders of the undead divine race. Now, it seems like he had already found them and brought back a lot of important information. When Chen Shang returned, he even found out that Jie Long was also looking for him, had even waited for 3 months, and was currently waiting for him at the hotel in the city. After returning to the villa, Chen Shang also allowed Shu Yuking to come out, and even allowed her to take him for a walk around the place. At the beginning, Shu Yuking had thought that Feng Wu was Chen Zhang's wife, and called him big sister instead. Feng Wu also didn't think that Chen Shang would actually marry the daughter of the Ziyuan leader after going to the Purple Yuan sect for a trip. When Chen Shang returned, he immediately went to find Wu Ji and Dai Donggong. Soon after, Huang Jintian and Huang Yantian also came, and they all gathered together for a meeting. Let that little cat out, Wu Ji said, and Yuei came out of the ring. Did you see my grandma? Yuei anxiously asked. As Dai Donggong knew a lot about Yuei's situation, it was all told to him by Wu Ji. I've seen her. She's doing very well right now. She might come here after a while, but that's only a possibility. Wu Ji said, this was given to you by her. If you want to see her, there's a way to find her on this list. Wu Ji passed Yuaa a pearl, which Yuaa nodded and stored into her own storage magic treasure. Elder Wu, how is the matter regarding the seal? Chen Shang asked. Regarding that seal, very troublesome, because there are too few undead divine races. At that time we might not be able to complete the strengthening seal. Right now, the elder is already thinking of a way. It is said that she wants to call a group of people from other places. Wu Ji said. Don't tell me this is just a branch. Huang Jintian said. He took out the Tianyan God record and flipped through it, frowning. My Tianyan God record is actually not complete, and there are still less in front. I only found out about it today. Quote. We should have ancestors. We can only wait for the elder to succeed. Wu Ji said. The elders have told us that we must protect that seal well, because that seal is very weak. Dai Donggong said. Then do you know what's underneath the seal? Wu Ji shook her head. The elder is unwilling to say. She only said that if the seal is not there, the Star Law Divine Realm will become hell. Chapter 2336. Previously, when Chen Shang asked Shu Dazong about 4 divine races, he already knew that 4 divine races was only a branch family. Looks like the Everlasting Mountain is very important right now. Chen Shang had originally planned to take down the Everlasting Mountain, but if there was a conflict, it might affect the seal, causing him to have no choice but to give up his original plan. Wu Ji and the others also decided to continue their development until they found a chance to take down the Everlasting Mountain. Since they had such a seal, of course they had to grasp it by themselves. After the meeting, Chen Shang immediately ran to a hotel in Kang Cloud City to look for Zhe Long. Zhe Long's position in the Divine Dragon race was very high, he could decide many things. Brother Shen, we've finally found you. When Zhe Long opened the door, he saw Chen Shang, and immediately pulled him in. What's so urgent? I actually made you wait 3 months. Chen Shang said in shock. It's that big heavenly star. Something incredible is happening there. Zhe Long said with a worried look on his face. After the Divine Dragon race moved to that place, a very terrifying person appeared. He sealed the entire Divine Dragon race, and as long as it was a dragon, it would be trapped by him. There's actually such a thing. Chen Shang frowned. Is it really that urgent? I have something to take care of here. If you are not in a hurry, I will make arrangements to go over with you to take a look. Quote. It's not urgent, it's just that it's very comfortable for Divine Dragon race to be trapped in one place. Zhe Long said. It was a little girl called Long Paijin who told me that only you could save them. I must say, Brother Shen, your charm is truly not small. Quote. Chen Shang laughed dryly. He was the one who suggested the move over to Divine Dragon race. Now that there are problems up there, he had to go and help. He returned to the villa, bid his farewells to Shu Yuking, and then left to refine pills. Just now, Dai Donggong had also reported to him about the speed at which disciples were improving, which was extremely fast, especially in terms of bones. In the past half year, he had used up most of the bone-level Dan, so he needed to refine some of them now. After he refined it for more than 10 days, he gave a small batch to Dai Donggong, and then went to find Shu Yuking. Yu Qing, are you used to this place? Asked. He had just come back and was busy concocting pills. He felt somewhat ashamed of Shu Yuking. Not bad, with Feng Wu accompanying me, you don't have to worry about me. Shu Yuking only found out in the last 10 days that Chen Shang was actually an extremely heaven-defying pill god, who could easily refine bone-level Dan, so she understood that Chen Shang could not accompany her, and she did not blame Chen Shang either. She only thought that Chen Zhang's way of cultivation was unique and had the strength of the peak divine lord, but she never thought that Chen Shang was actually a very terrifying pill god. He alone could provide many people with the required bone-level Dan, and could even refine King Grade S in pellets. This was what Feng Wu had told Shu Yuking. I'm really sorry for leaving you alone. Chen Shang kissed her forehead and sighed. I'm going to run to another place after a while. Do you want to enter the ring and come with me? I'll go with you. Shu Yuking held Chen Shang, and lightly snorted. You're actually a pill god, and you didn't even tell me. I forgot. Chen Shang laughed. So powerful. Husband, are the other women used to you not being with them? Shu Yuking asked softly. I'm not by their side often, and it's hundreds, or even thousands of years. Chen Shang said, I'll bring them over after a while. When the time comes, you won't be so bored when you're together with them. Alright. Shu Yuking stood up on his tiptoes, kissed Chen Shang on the mouth, and then kissed on the bed. After a few rounds, the two of them soundly slept. The next day, Chen Shang woke up and allowed Shu Yuking to enter his serene jade ring, before he went to look for Zhe Long. Zhe Long often went back to the great heavenly star, so he was very familiar with it as well. Brother Zhe, is that guy human or beast? To actually be able to trap the entire divine dragon race. Chen Shang said, the divine dragon race was not weak, those peak divine lord were stronger than human beings, but their numbers were few, so they were unable to fight against the peak divine lord that the Star Law divine realm had teamed up with. I don't know. What I saw was a person. He casually released a very powerful spirit formation. Zhe Long said, this barrier is also very special, it seems to have been specially created for his divine dragon race. It only seals the dragon, so humans will not be affected and can easily enter and exit. In merely 3 days, Chen Shang and Zhe Long arrived at the Great Heavenly Star, the place where the divine dragon race was trapped. Chen Shang had also met with many older dragons. The Dragon Clan's clan chief and a few Dragon Clan peak divine lords did not dare to underestimate Chen Shang, because the black dragon flower poison among them was undid by Chen Shang himself. Furthermore, he had even killed the evil spirit emperor that had pained them greatly, and obtained the recognition of the Azure Dragon. That fellow's flames are extremely terrifying, and they also have a type of great Tao power. He should be able to grasp the laws of fire. This was a very amiable old man. Could it be the earthly beast? Chen Shang frowned, the flames are so powerful, I should only be able to use earthly beastess. We don't know either. In short, we didn't even have the chance to fight him before he trapped us here. He didn't even say anything to us. Divine Dragon Race let out a long sigh. His strength is very scary, I think we've met a guy who surpassed the peak Divine Lord realm. Although Divine Dragon Race was trapped inside a barrier, they normally were not affected at all. They just felt a little depressed, and at the same time, they were extremely worried that they would be killed. When he released this spirit formation, it never appeared again. No matter how we shouted, he never appeared. The Divine Dragon Race leader said. On the way here, Shu Yuking had also heard a lot of things about the Great Star Realm from Yuei. She was also very happy when she found out about Chen Zhang's adventure, as long as it was something related to Chen Shang, she would like to hear them. On the way there, she would also listen to them with interest, this would allow her to understand Chen Shang better. Now that she heard about the enchantment from the Yin Yao ring, she was suddenly curious and said to Chen Shang, husband, can you let me see the enchantment? If the spirit formation can be broken through, that guy might just appear. Quote. Shu Yuking possessed the power of the curse, and was extremely familiar with enchantments. Since he was not in Star Law Divine Realm, Chen Shang did not need to worry about Shu Yuking being discovered when he was together with him, so he could feel at ease and allow Shu Yuking to come out. When Shu Yuking came out, he immediately asked the Divine Dragon Race to bring her to the edge of the barrier. Knowing that the woman was Chen Zhang's wife and had to look at the enchantment, they all thought that Shu Yuking could break through the enchantment, hence they were all respectful towards him. Shu Yuking opened her jade palm, releasing a ball of pale white mist. Closing her eyes, she allowed the ball of white mist to float at the side of the barrier. Chen Shang, is she your wife? Long Paijin suddenly said to Chen Shang, because she saw that Shu Yuking had used the white power, and looked like Shu Yuking was very powerful too. No, she's a human. My white dragon wife isn't that quiet. Chen Shang replied with a smile. Not long later, Shu Yuking's white mist suddenly turned purple, and then exploded. What's going on? Chen Shang anxiously walked over and protected him. No problem, I was just trying to see what the energy source of this enchantment is. I never thought that it would be the power of a curse, moreover it's the power of a purple profound curse, this is an extremely terrifying power, and the scope is so large, the ones being cursed are even so many powerful divine dragons. Shu Yuking said, so after he placed this curse on himself, his body's damage was also very serious. He had been resting during this period of time, and that's why he did not appear. Chapter 2337. The old dragons of Divine Dragon Race had also heard of the power of curses. They immediately understood that the other party was only cursing them, the dragons, so the draconians like Zhelong were not affected at all. Why did you have to deal with these dragons? The dragon race that guarded the Azure Dragon tomb had arrived here a long time ago, but the enemy was only the evil spirit race, they had never encountered this kind of thing. They met the divine dragon race not long after they moved to this place, and during this period of time, no one else entered the great heavenly star. Because the formation switch that enveloped the great heavenly star was in the hands of the divine dragon race, it was not easy for anyone else to enter. In other words, the person who used the power of the curse to trap the divine dragon race was within this great heavenly star, and he had been hiding here for a long time. Little miss, then do you have a way to remove this curse? The head of the divine dragon race asked. Could it be that this great heavenly star already has a master, and it has only awakened during this period of time? This divine dragon race was more good-natured, and didn't have the domineering aura of a divine dragon. It was no wonder that they were poisoned. These old dragons were probably used to living a life where there was no conflict, thus their vigilance was greatly reduced, and they were poisoned by the black dragon flower poison. I'm not sure yet, but I have to give it a try. Shu Yuking shook her head, she didn't dare be sure either. She closed her eyes and opened her palm, releasing a white mist. This mist floated out and emitted many threads of white light that touched the invisible barrier. Chen Shang only knew that Shu Yuking knew how to cast all kinds of strange curses, but he didn't know that she also knew how to remove curses. When the divine dragon race saw the power Shu Yuking had released, he said in a low voice in shock, "This seems to be the power of a curse. This is an extremely strange power." Generally speaking, when using the power of the curse, one would have to sacrifice to obtain it. But with the heavenly sacred art and the great curse technique, it would be extremely easy to use the power of the curse, and the power of the divine sense C could be converted into it. Quote. Chen Shang frowned and asked, "What's wrong with that? Your divine dragon race is also considered to be a heavenly god tribe. Your dragon is a heavenly beast, you don't have that kind of ability." "Yes, but not everyone can have it. For example, I have one, so I am currently the clan leader. The Azure Dragon also has a heavenly Tao technique, so he became one of the four-sided divine beasts." The divine dragon race leader said. Chen Shang thought about Yuei, that little kitten. She also had that kind of inherent skill, which was extremely powerful. Not long after, the ground shook slightly and Shu Yuking let out a light sigh. His face was covered with sweat and he looked extremely exhausted. It broke open. Shu Yuking laughed lightly. "I never thought that it would actually succeed. This curse is really powerful." No one knew what Shu Yuking had done, but they all knew that she had done wrong. RF equals, http://www.chinkan5.com. What are you going to do about it? BR greater than. You've worked hard, rest well. Chen Shang allowed her to enter into the ring. The curse has already been broken. The person who placed the curse on him will definitely know that he will appear soon, and then he will know who he is, and why he has to deal with divine dragon race. Just as Shu Yuking entered the ring, he sensed a scorching chi, causing the divine dragon race to change his expression, and said solemnly, "They're coming, get ready to fight." Chen Shang clenched his fists tightly and took out the heavenly magic sword. Once the curse was broken, the one who placed the curse on him came immediately. It could be seen that the other party was also very surprised and curious, wanting to see how his powerful curse was broken. "Yuei, do you know where this guy comes from?" Chen Shang hurriedly asked Yuei, to see if he could detect her presence. Yuei said, "If I'm not mistaken, this guy could be a Qilin, and might even be one of the earthly beast here. The great heavenly star is so huge, there are even more of them than the Star Law Divine Realm's heavenly star realm, so of course the earthly beast here are also very strong." However, when Chen Shang was merging with the Azure Dragon's memories, he never knew that there was a earthly beast here. Although the other party's aura had already spread over, it had not appeared for a long time. Chen Shang and the others were all anxiously waiting. Chen Shang also took the opportunity to communicate with the Azure Dragon divine soul inside his divine deity, but the other party did not give him any response. The Azure Dragon had previously said, he would sometimes fall into a deep sleep and it would be difficult to wake him up. It really does look a little like Huo Lin's aura. Could it be that this guy really is a fire unicorn? Chen Shang thought to himself. "Senior, have you guys come into contact with the fire unicorn before? I feel that this aura is a little like the aura of a Qilin." Chen Shang said. It's a little, but I was very familiar with a heavenly star earthly beast. That guy is a Qilin, and I'm quite familiar with its aura. Right now, this guy only has a bit of the aura of a Qilin, but it's not completely the same. The divine dragon race leader said. Yuei also only felt that it was a little Qilin, but it was only that much. If there was a very strong Qilin aura, then they would not be able to accept it. ref equals, http www.chinkin5.com, to target equals, blank, greater than www.chinkin5.com, br greater than. Chen Zhang's expression became gloomy. He looked at the direction that the qi was coming from, and sensed the qi, feeling shocked in his heart, because the opponent's strength was increasing non-stop, and was releasing a terrifying pressure. Humph! A low groan suddenly came from the sky as Chen Zhang's knees suddenly bent and he almost kneeled down. The patriarchs of the divine dragon race and the few other divine dragon races beside them all kneeled down, while Long Peijian, Long Lin, Long Qing and the other juniors struggled on the ground. This terrifying pressure suddenly attacked, causing the blood in Chen Zhang's body to churn. He almost vomited blood. The old dragons beside him who were stubbornly holding on all had blood flowing out of the corners of their mouths. Right now, only Chen Shang could stand. This guy, it seems that someone who has surpassed the peak divine lord realm has finally met with such a guy. Quote. Chen Shang looked at the sky and saw a middle-aged man dressed in black armor, with a red cape fluttering behind him. He had his hands folded across his chest and floated in the air. His handsome and imposing face had a tinge of anger. He was staring straight at Chen Shang. Chen Shang, how did you enrage this guy? The voice of the green dragon suddenly sounded in Chen Zhang's mind, waking the sleeping green dragon up. He cursed the divine dragon race. I broke his curse and became like this. Chen Shang said, Senior, do you know who this is? Why are they so terrifying? Chapter 2338. Just now, when the Azure Dragon said that, he knew that the Azure Dragon must have recognized him. His voice just now contained a trace of fear. I do. He is born from the combination of the heavenly god dragon and the heavenly Dao Kirin. The earthly beast of this great sky star is a heavenly Qilin, it's a female. It was because a heavenly god dragon had come here by chance and fallen in love with the heavenly Qilin at first sight. However, they angered the earth's core divine spirit by doing so. The green dragon said. Chen Shang was extremely shocked in his heart. The extremely rare sky Qilin was actually this heavenly star's earthly beast. And then, Chen Shang asked. Later on, they were both sent to the heavenly Dao Hell. However, before that, they gave birth to a son. It was this fellow. The green dragon replied, originally, he was going to be punished, but for some reason, he is safe and sound. I thought he had hidden away, but I never expected that he has always been on this planet. How strong is he? Chen Shang asked again. Very strong. It has already exceeded my knowledge. The Azure Dragon said, be careful. Chen Shang took a deep breath, and said to the dragon Qilin in the sky, Senior, how have we offended you? I made you so angry. Quote. You are all lackeys of the heavenly Dao. I can kill you all just because of this. However, I have never liked killing people. I only wanted to imprison you for a lifetime. Who would have thought that you would dare to resist me and break my curse? The middle-aged man's voice was cold and emotionless. Because he knew about the other party's background, Chen Shang immediately understood that his parents had been sent to hell by the dragon Qilin. Chen Shang simply did not know what the heavenly Dao was. The Azure Dragon only knew a general idea. Senior, you misunderstand, Chen Shang said. The dragon Qilin's pressure was still not reduced at all, and the other little dragons were being pressured very hard. You're not from the heavenly Dao God tribe, you're just a human. The dragon Qilin knew that Chen Shang was not simple, otherwise it would be impossible for him to stand. Those old dragons beside Chen Shang were all from the peak divine lord, but they could only kneel now. Senior, if you have something to say, we can talk about it. You don't want to think that the heavenly Dao is so unreasonable, right? Chen Shang said. He himself found it hard to persevere. This dragon Qilin was indeed very terrifying. Humph. The dragon Qilin withdrew her power and the group of divine dragons immediately felt much more comfortable. This is my place, get out. The dragon Qilin swept his gaze over the group of dragons and said coldly, otherwise, I will kill all of you. The dragon Qilin's heart was not bad, if not he would have started killing long ago. He had said before that he did not like killing. Could it be that our divine dragon race has offended Senior? Divine dragon race heaved a long sigh. That is true. However, you all are born of the heavenly law. As for the heavenly law, it is my enemy. The dragon Qilin said. Who is the heavenly Dao? Chen Shang said, I'm afraid I have never seen these dragons before. If we say that they are born from the heavens, then among all the living beings in the world, who are not born from the heavens? That's right. I was also born from the heavens, law, but since the heavens, law owes me, I will destroy it. The dragon Kylan said. In that case, you should not use the power bestowed to you by the heavenly law to deal with us. As long as you are here, the power you use will be inextricably linked to the heavenly law. Chen Shang said. Just as he finished speaking, the dragon Kylan grabbed his throat. Fortunately, Chen Zhang's neck was very hard and did not break in an instant. I'm not talking nonsense with you guys, are you guys going or not? If you don't leave, I will start a massacre. Dragon Kylan could not win against Chen Shang, and shouted angrily. You should think about it carefully. Your parents were punished, so how are you still alive? Furthermore, to possess such frightening power, if the heavenly law is truly as cold, heartless and bloodthirsty as you think, you should have already died long ago. Chen Shang said. He was not afraid, so he decided to reveal everything he knew. You, just who are you? You actually know about this? Are you also a lackey of the heavenly Tao? The dragon Kylan released Chen Shang, and was a little surprised. Chen Shang was indeed a little special, she was already a little strong, and knew a lot of things. Chen Shang also felt that the things that had happened to Dragon Kylan's parents were a little strange. Because he had experienced many such mysterious things, he was able to piece together many parts of the story. Just now, the Green Dragon had said that Dragon Kylan's parents had been sent to hell, and as far as he knew, the Qilin in hell would turn into a ground-suppressing immortal elephant, able to suppress hell itself. The heavenly Kylan was originally a ground-suppressing immortal elephant, but because hell was calm, it decided to retreat and become a heavenly Kylan, becoming a earthly beast on this big sky star. That was why the Sky Kylan was sent to hell. At that time, the Sky Kylan had already fallen in love with a Sky God Dragon, and because of that, they went together, making the Dragon Kylan a earthly beast. No one knew who told him that his parents had been sent to hell by the heavenly Tao, but no matter what, he must have received the wrong information. Chen Shang suspected that the information obtained by the Azure Dragon was probably the same as the Sky Kylan. Let me ask you this. Who told you that your parents have been sent to hell by the heavenly Tao? Chen Shang asked immediately. All in all, I just know. I don't need anyone to tell me. Before answering, the Dragon Kylan paused a little, and it was obvious that he had thought about it at that time. The Green Dragon then told Chen Shang, this was something that a mysterious old man told me. Back then, he also told me that there was a heavenly star here, and even the formation to seal this heavenly star was taught to me by him. Chen Shang immediately understood that the old man was the key. HMPH, if they are not the lackeys of the heavenly Tao, why would they seal me here? Imprisoning me for life. I was already sealed in the Earth's core. If it wasn't for the fact that the seal's power was weakened, I wouldn't have been able to come out. The Dragon Kylan bellowed. The seal weakened. Chen Shang and the others had been to the core of the earth before, but they had never touched any kind of seal. Could it be? Chen Shang thought of the evil spirit race. The presence of the evil spirit race had given rise to a certain power to seal this Dragon Kylan, and the Dragon Kylan must have been sealed for many years. Furthermore, it had existed in the heart of the earth. Did an old man run to the center of the earth to tell you all this? Chen Shang asked. The Dragon Kylan stopped talking. He was thinking, how did Chen Shang know? Firstly, the formation that sealed you was not set up by the divine dragon race, but the one that sealed the heavenly star. This is also to protect the heavenly star from being discovered, and it can be unsealed anytime now. Chen Shang said, the reason why you were able to break open the seal and exit was because we had previously killed a clan called the evil spirit race. Chen Shang quickly settled the matter. When the Azure Dragon was first called to this place by an old man, this old man definitely knew that the Azure Dragon was going to die, so he let the Azure Dragon die here. At the same time, he also taught the Azure Dragon how to control the evil spirit race and help him build a mausoleum. It was just that this old man did not expect the Azure Dragon to call a group of dragons to watch over his mausoleum, and the Azure Dragon had also relied on an extremely powerful force to support his divine soul. The evil spirit race here must have been called here by the old man, and the mysterious old man thought that if the Azure Dragon died here, the evil spirit race would be able to devour the Azure Dragon's soul and become stronger. This way, the evil spirit race he reared would be able to become extremely powerful, and would be able to control the Dragon Kylan that he sealed here. When the Dragon Kylan was young, it was definitely sealed by this old man. Furthermore, it had been instilled with negative thoughts by this old man since young, causing the Dragon Kylan to hate the heavens. When the strength of the Dragon Kylan reaches a certain level, the mysterious old man will come to save the Dragon Kylan and then fight against the heavenly Tao together with it. This also means that this mysterious old man and the heavenly Tao have a very deep grudge. Chapter 2339. The more Chen Shang thought about it, the more he felt that it was terrifying, because he thought about how the Star Law Divine Realms were about to die, how they knew that the undead divine race could be used to increase their lifespan. There must have been someone secretly informing them. The mysterious old man's plan went very smoothly. It could be seen that the heavenly Tao was powerless to stop him. Something must have happened. After that, Chen Shang revealed his speculations. He did not have time to think about the secrets beneath the everlasting mountain, and secretly used a black hand to break the seal below the everlasting mountain. Furthermore, everything was going smoothly. After hearing what Chen Shang said, Yue and Shu Yuking, who was in the ring, were extremely shocked. Undead divine race's clan being exterminated, there was actually such a shady scene. Do you understand now? The seal here was laid down by the mysterious old man in the Azure Dragon School. I've also described that old man's appearance, and it should be exactly the same as the one you saw. Chen Shang said, the evil spirit race was placed here by him. The power of the evil spirit race can strengthen the seal on you. If we did not eliminate the evil spirit race, you would not be able to come out now. The dragon Kylan was not stupid. He did not completely believe Chen Zhang's words, but he was still filled with doubts towards the old man. I will find out about this matter. I will go ask the old man right away. The dragon Kylan said, then disappeared in a flash. Chen Zhang's expression became serious, and said, the mysterious old man is still here, but it looks like it's just a strand of divine will. If not, he would have killed us already. The seal below everlasting mountain, without the undead divine race, our 4 clans will not be able to work together to strengthen them. Previously, when we were strengthening them, we had many powerful elders, but it was all very difficult. Only he and a few of the prison elders knew about this. Is your mission in the Star Law Divine Realm to guard that seal? Chen Shang asked. Yes, we don't know when the seal will be released either. If it is released, all of 4 divine races will be able to sense it. The leader of the divine dragon race said, the person who should understand the seal the most should be the patriarch of the undead divine race, but he is already dead. The important clan elders of undead divine race were still around, which was Yuer's grandmother. However, she didn't know much about it, and the only clan head who knew many secrets was captured and refined. Suddenly, Chen Shang shouted, that guy is coming again. The dragon Kylan really did come, and it was not by himself either, but with an old man. This old man was wearing a gray robe, his hair was a bit yellow, his face was full of wrinkles, and he was short and thin, just like the green dragon described. Seeing this old man, Chen Shang was extremely vigilant. It was just as he had guessed, this was just a strand of divine soul, but it was not weak at all. Who are you? Did that guy send you? It's been a long time since I've seen such a powerful human. The old man looked at Chen Shang for a long while before he spoke. No, I just experienced a lot of things, so I saw through your schemes. Chen Shang said. Ren Xin, kill this human. The old man said, he was sent by the heavenly Tao. If you want to see your parents, you have to break the seal on the everlasting mountain before you can enter the heavenly Tao hell. That is your only way. The human in front of you, as well as this group of dragons, must protect that seal. Only by killing them will you be able to save your parents. The dragon Kylan's name was actually Ren Xin. It was unknown if it was given to him by his parents or not. If you open the seal, it might affect her. Whether or not your parents get sent to the heavenly law palace is only a one-sided story of this old man. He can't come up with any evidence, so don't fall into his trap. Chen Shang said, he had already secretly activated the Chuangshi God Furnace. Ren Xin looked at Chen Shang, and at the same time, Chen Shang was also looking at him. For some reason, Ren Xin suddenly felt a very intimate aura from Chen Zhang's body. Chen Zhang's heart moved. He anxiously controlled the ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul inside his bones and released waves after waves of weak qi. Through the bones in his eyes, it was transferred to Ren Xin's divine sense C. Not knowing why, Chen Shang suddenly felt that he had lost control of himself. The ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul inside his bones continued to roar, and of course, only he and Ren Xin could hear it. Ren Xin's fist suddenly burned with fire, and after the old man saw it, his mouth curved into a smile, because Ren Xin was about to make his move. Chen Shang also summoned out his heavenly magic sword, and the palm holding onto the sword hilt started sweating. Ren Xin's strength was very strong, so of course he wasn't his opponent. Ren Xin, kill him. the elder shouted with a pleased look on his face. Ren Xin fiercely punched out, smashing onto the body of the mysterious elder, turning the lower half of the elder's body into pieces. Chen Shang and the others were stunned. The target of the dragon Kylin was not Chen Shang, but the old man. Ren Xin, why are you? Before the old man finished speaking, Ren Xin had already pinched his head. Because you've lied to me for so many years. Go and die. Don't worry, I will definitely attack your lair and destroy your real body. Ren Xin suddenly knew a lot of things. He sneered, and with a grab, he crushed the old man's head. Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief. He guessed that his ground-suppressing immortal elephant's soul might have had a reaction to Ren Xin's mother, and that the heavenly Kylin had passed the truth to his son. That was the reason why Ren Xin changed so much. Senior, did your mother tell you a lot of things? Chen Shang asked. Ren Xin nodded, and patted Chen Zhang's shoulders. Thank you, otherwise I would have been tricked by this old thing. Can you tell me what you know? Chen Shang asked. Divine Dragon Race and the others were relieved. The misunderstanding had already been resolved, and they could continue staying here. The Heavenly Tao is dead, the Heavenly Tao is in chaos, and the only way out of the Heavenly Tao is under the Everlasting Mountain. Ren Xin's expression became serious. What's beneath the Heavenly Tao hell? Chen Shang sighed. He was afraid that he would not be able to keep the seal. My mother didn't tell me. He just told me to stay far away from the Star Law Divine Realm. Ren Xin shook his head. The Heavenly Tao actually died. Why haven't we been affected? Chen Shang said. We have already been affected for many years by the Heavenly Tao to maintain order. However, once the Heavenly Tao dies, order begins to become chaotic. For example, the undead divine race that you spoke of earlier was exterminated, and with the seal broken later on, the ghost from hell escaped. Ren Xin said. Chapter 2340. Chen Shang did not know what kind of existence the Heavenly Tao was, so he did not understand the concept of the Heavenly Tao dying. However, he felt that the Heavenly Tao should not die. It had already become a power, living forever within the six paths. Senior, what are your plans after this? Chen Shang asked. Ren Xin was so powerful, he could be said to be an invincible existence in the Star Law Divine Realm. I want to continue cultivating. My strength is not enough. If one day, the seal below the Everlasting Mountain is broken, then the things that come out will be extremely terrifying. With my current strength, there is no way to deal with them. Ren Xin said, you guys are the same too. Although you are part of the God race, when that group of people come out, you will be their first target. Even the Divine Dragon race's dragons were shocked. If even Ren Xin had said that he was very weak, then their Divine Dragon race would have no way of resisting those things. Senior, I have a request. Chen Shang suddenly said. What is it? Ren Xin was extremely grateful to Chen Shang in his heart. He knew a lot of things, otherwise, he would have definitely helped since he was still in the dark. Chen Shang sent a sound transmission to Ren Xin, and said, I still lack the Heaven Kylin's divine soul. I wonder if Senior has a way to help me. Of course, it was not impossible for him to cultivate the Heavenly Kylin's soul, it was just that it would take a lot of time. If Ren Xin could help him, it would save him a lot of time and trouble. After Ren Xin pondered for a while, a ball of red fire suddenly condensed out from his palm. With a roar, the ball of fire turned into a red bead. Take it. Ren Xin passed it to Chen Shang, then patted his shoulder. You are not simple. I hope that you can grow to my level. It will be difficult for a human to cultivate to your level. I will. Chen Shang laughed and kept the fiery red pearl. That was the Heaven Kylin's divine soul. All right. After Ren Xin finished speaking, he transformed into a ray of fiery light and rushed into the sky, disappearing without a trace. Ren Xin was still inside this heavenly star, but he was hidden at the bottom of the heart, where he could quickly obtain rich energy to cultivate. The matter was successfully resolved, but Chen Shang and the others were not happy. The seal underneath the Everlasting Mountain worried them greatly. Chen Shang had originally planned to build his own force in Everlasting Mountain, but now it seems that it was extremely dangerous. Divine Dragon Race's mission was to protect the seal. If it was released, he would ally with the other god tribes and strengthen them. Previously, Wu Ji had brought back some news, saying that the other branches of the undead divine race had already rushed over, and would help strengthen them when the time comes. However, this was only a possibility, because Wu Ji was not sure if he would actually come at that time. In order to thank Chen Shang, the divine dragon race had asked Zhe Long to gift him many of those bone-level fruit. Now, Chen Shang had a total of 1,000. Refining the bone-level fruit into a pill was also a big goal for Chen Shang, but he was busy right now and did not have the time to worry about it. When Chen Shang and Jie Long returned to the Star Law Divine Realm, Yuaa asked Chen Shang to bring her to find the elder of the undead divine race, who was her grandmother. That place is pretty secretive, but with me leading the way, you'll find it easily. When you enter, you should be a bit more polite, so as to avoid any conflicts. Yu said. Only a small portion of the scattered undead divine race managed to escape the calamity of having their entire race destroyed. Under Yua's guidance, Chen Shang spent an entire month before finding the hiding place of the undead divine race, which was actually in the middle of a small dead star. Moreover, this dead star would even move regularly, and only Yua, who was familiar with the trajectory of the stars, could roughly guess where the stars would fly to. It's right on top of this planet. You should go up and take a look. Yu said. Chen Shang landed on this small star. The light here was extremely dim and the ground was filled with ice-cold broken stones without any signs of life. Undead divine race was actually hiding in this kind of place. I'll try to contact my grandmother first. Yua flew out from the ring, using her method to communicate with her grandmother. Not long after, Chen Shang felt a trace of a weak aura, and he immediately became vigilant. It's my grandmother, Yua hurriedly said to Chen Shang. Just as she finished speaking, an old granny wearing a black robe with a benevolent expression appeared in front of Chen Shang. Grandmother, Yu excitedly shouted and flew over. The old granny immediately hugged her and tenderly caressed the fur on her back. Yua's grandmother was currently the strongest elder in undead divine race. Her name was Lu Lianyan, and she seemed to be a very robust old granny. Grandma, are you all right? Yua caressed Lu Lianyan's face and asked worriedly. As long as you're fine, you don't have to worry about Grandma. Lu Lianyan chuckled and said, it's really good to be able to see you again. I have them help you calculate using the heaven extended method every now and then, and seeing that you're still here, I'm worried to death. Yua laughed. I also have the bloodline of the undead divine race, how can I die so easily? Lu Lianyan pinched her little head, then looked at Chen Shang and smiled amiably. You must be Chen Shang, I have heard little Wu mention you before. Grandma, I was only able to come back because Chen Shang helped me. He treats me so well, and he's also very powerful. She did not wish for undead divine race to be prejudiced against Chen Shang. Yes, Grandma knows. Let's go somewhere else to talk. Lu Lianyan carried Yua as he brought Chen Shang to the deepest part of this small star. When Chen Shang came down, he realized that there were only about 10 people here, all of them were old people, and the undead divine race only had so few people left. Grandma, will any other undead divine race come here to help? I heard that if we don't reinforce the seal, the things inside will come out and be destroyed. Yu said. I only contacted them. Although they responded, they were not certain whether they would come or not, nor did they give a very definite answer. Lu Lianyan sighed. Now we can only wait. Furthermore, if our 4 divine races appears in Everlasting Mountain, those fellows will definitely come and fight us. HMPH, it seems like the seal on the Everlasting Mountain will not be strengthened any longer. Let the things inside come out and punish those fellows. Yua tenderly snorted. We'll protect ourselves. Protecting that seal is our mission, and the only thing doing harm to us is that group of fellows. There are many innocent and kind people in the Star Law Divine Realm, there were also many people who tried to help us secretly back then. Lu Lianyan said as he touched Yua. Senior, it's not good for you to stay in this sort of place. Have you considered changing places? Chen Shang said, then he asked Yua to tell him about the great heavenly star that the divine dragon race was on. Yua had talked about a lot of things, including the matter with Ren Xin.